Time though, guys. So we will see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Don't forget, Friday costumes.
Ciao for now.
Care.
Hey guys, 2 o'clock. Welcome back. We are 2 hours away from putting an end to 2 straight days of Powell testimony. I mean, he's finished already, but the market, as soon as he finished, took a hard right turn. Back to the downside we go. We were trying to hold on to positive territory throughout the entire Q&A today as he was answering some questions, but we are failing. Here's how things are shaping up right now. S&P 500, 0.38 to the downside. It's the Dow that's leading right now, 0.68. The NASDAQ, 0.15. So back to the downside, adding on to 1.5 basically for all three to the downside yesterday as far as percentage moves are concerned. 1.25 there for crude oil. 0.15 for Bitcoin. Same story upside for Ethereum. About as mixed as you're going to see this board, but the red side is winning out this afternoon. I wanted to focus on consumer discretionary to kick things off here. Travel names under pressure. It's cruise lines, specifically 4.5, 3, and 2.5 there for NCLH, CCL, and RCLA, or RCL, I should say. Downside, Starbucks as well here, 1.5%. Best Buy, 2.75, 4% for Etsy. Downside, almost 4% again for Tesla. Downside as well. So one of the hardest hit groups so far this afternoon is the consumer discretionary groups. Banks under pressure as well. Yields popping once again 2-year back to basically 52-week highs. We'll touch on that coming up here. But individual banks down here, they are all in the red. Same story for insurance company Diversified, doing a little bit better. Tech trying to offset. So there's that, if we're looking for silver linings. Enphase and SEDG standing out here in the semiconductor group, 4%, 3.5%. The rest, though, semiconductors are notably strong. There's AMD, 2.8% to the upside. Annette's over here in the hardware makers also leading the way, 3.25%. Real estate stocks over here are strong. Some utility material strength as well. Energy downside, as we saw, crude oil now 1%. Off of its highs, essentially. We never really got going today. There was that inventory number that came out at 10:30 this morning that showed a unexpected and larger than expected drawdown in crude oil inventories last week, but didn't really seem to help. It was downside all day long for crude. Nothing really significant as far as headlines coming out of this testimony today. We were expecting this to be a little bit lighter as far as some aggressiveness in the questioning, and it turned out to be that way. I mean, he basically reiterated everything he said yesterday as far as they're going to have to go higher, might get there faster. Almost 80-20 now towards a 50 basis point hike coming up in a couple of weeks from the Fed on March 22nd. Huge couple of data points to come, though, as we were highlighting this morning. Non-farm payrolls coming up Friday. We get both CPI and PPI then next week. And then the 22nd will be the big day. Let's get into what we were discussing. If you're with us in the pre-market this morning, one of those days when the overall market's in play, so individual names kind of take a back seat. But there were a ton of individual catalysts to have a look at this morning. Neil's going to talk about one of his ideas from the morning trade.
Yes, sir. Trade of the Day is always brought to you by Day Trade the World, and it's going to be Alphabet today. And it's all about a double top. I mean, I like a double top. I like that setup. And when you think it can be a bit of a range-bound day, you want to play within the range. So find something that has support resistance and go from there. You know, Powell day 2, kind of a sideways day for most of the day until right at the end when we flush to the downside, breaking the low. But Alphabet did show you a pretty distinct high at 96. I mean, it doesn't get any cleaner than that. I had some old lines actually even drawn down here at the 94 level where it broke out from. But here is 96. You're going to see it make that top, retrace. It took a couple of days to get back into the 94 range, but we did get there. And then you got another move into the upside. So there was a lot of long, short at the open and trades off the open that were fantastic. Some good longs, some good shorts. But it was about patience with this. Why I like this is you don't always execute it exactly how you want. And that's just how the market goes. But this time, we had a wick top, almost exactly what we're looking for. You make the move into 96, not short, wicked up, test 96, first consolidation after that. That's the way I like to get it. You get that first consolidation, grab the short just underneath, risk to the high of the day, Going to go actually 2-to-1 halfway into, not VWAP, but halfway into that last breakout here. We had this little consolidation. I wasn't really thinking VWAP. I was thinking how strong is the trend. I want this pullback at least getting to this little channel here. 95.25, 95.10. We're taking some out halfway, then in the middle. Hey, and sometimes you get a chance to reload, almost the exact same trade over again. It's going to pop back up. Now, if it's working, you would expect, and it's not always going to be this way, you would expect to be able to get a lower high out of it. So I am ready here for it not to get to 96, make that lower high, grab the short in that consolidation, very similar setup. And then, yeah, same thing, we're going to scalp it. I end up holding out for VWAP here. It can be a bit of a bad call. When you get out at a consolidation level from before, and you see it kind of blowing through that, I just kind of stuck the bid in there. Let's go for it. And then sometimes you get a little bit too cute. Now, the market was making fresh lows. I'm going to show you what happened here. The market was making fresh lows for a while Alphabet, Google was just barcoding and holding this bottom at 94.60. So over and over again, the market kept testing and subtly breaking the lows. I decide flip. Let's go from shorts into the longs on Alphabet. You get cute. The trend was still pretty good off our level, and you're going to get that stop out. So at the end of the day, sometimes you can hold on to those, keep going with it, but I love that double top. It showed you the resistance. The market had no designs on breaking outside of the range, the ES or the NASDAQ. So there's a little chance that Google's going to get through that high when it got there. Discipline, wait for it to approach the level, make the top, and then get into the short. That's why it's your trade of the day. And as always, check out Day Trade the World.
We're watching tech. We were watching some of the semiconductors this morning ahead of Powell, ahead of more inflation, interest rate talk that came and went. This BLPH popping up here, once again, back to day highs. 630 was the top there. Just got taken out. Huge volume spike. You can see 25% on the day. There was an offering that was announced yesterday, but not much else on BLPH. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you scan that, or just go to watchlist.tradertv.live and enter your email address. You can get the watch list for free every single day from us to you. It looks like that. Has everything you need to know in it in the pre-market. Here is the CME Fed Funds Tool. Back to, as I said, almost now 80% in favor of this 50-point hike coming up in a couple of weeks versus just 22% for the quarter point. So it looks like that's pretty much a lock at this point. If you go out to May, we're still kind of 60% towards quarter point. So we'll see what happens coming up in the next couple of weeks here. The dollar index, meanwhile, making some moves this afternoon as well. Back to the upside. Was very, very volatile throughout this testimony today. This is an hourly chart, FYI. So huge move up yesterday on Powell's testimony, and then today we just kind of do nothing. But we are drifting back to the upside as we speak here. I had here they are. I wanted to show you this too. Here's the 2-year. Highest point it's been in a long, long time. 5.06 on the 2-year right now. 10-year not as active. So obviously the closer weighted yields getting more of the attention as far as the speech coming from Fed Chair Powell saying, yeah, more hikes faster to come. BLPH we'll talk about. We'll talk about Tesla to kick things off here as we were discussing early on this morning. A couple things to know as far as Tesla was concerned today. First of all, there was this Berenberg downgrade to hold, but they did actually increase their price target on the stock. So they still like it, but just don't buy more anymore right now, is basically what they're saying. Very bullish, meanwhile, with Citigroup on lithium because of Tesla's EV projections. Hey, guys, we don't get to hear from Fed Chair Powell again for another couple of weeks now.
Howdy Love face. Hearing from Fed Chair Powell.
Yeah.
I mean,
usually.
Pretty well scripted. No, I mean, it provides liquidity in the market that we need and some big moves, man. I mean, we wouldn't have, look, you can get big moves no matter what in the NASDAQ and some of the names. Got to make sure you're watching the right ones. But yeah, tech names continue to fly around here today. And as soon as he was done speaking is when the market really started to go to the downside. I think it wasn't it right about here? 12:02, something like that. No, it was after that, wasn't it? I don't know where it was. I think it was right in here where we stopped speaking. I remember sitting here. I was like, oh my God, here we go. Oh, I know when. I can check. It was right here.
It was a big move.
Yeah, it was right here. It was at 1:30. So 130, because we were short Meta right there, and it just collapsed down in. I think it was right about here, 1 o'clock, I feel like, is when he was done. So, yeah, 1 o'clock. Look, it's been a good day so far. We're short Meta. The market is rallying a little bit right now. So I'm actually going to just address this Meta situation that I have right now, because the market is going back up to the upside here. Not uncontrollably or anything like that, but we still have about 20% of our short on it. I think I want to get short again against 184 right there. So let's just try Meta. You're bouncing up to a 50 period right now. I want to get the short, but I will go over to Tesla in a couple minutes. I just want to reshort some more Meta right here.
So I'm thinking the same thing on crowd, but closer to 129. I'll get to that in a second, because I think we're actually going to talk CrowdStrike here. Apologies for that wick. I can't do anything about that. But Tesla, I like the over-under at 185. It's been under 85 all day long, but I only had 2 shorts. And got wicked out of that second one when it looked like it was breaking VWAP, and I thought we would actually get a bit of a recovery. It made a definitive bottom off 180. And it's held 180 so nicely that it felt like it was going to break VWAP, at least in my purview, and was going to make it back up to that 185 level, which I'm still waiting for. Like, I don't want to fight Tesla. If anything, this has turned into a bit of a long off 180. I can't look at that chart too much longer. We just go to the daily chart here, because it felt all to the world like you broke the channel down at 185. You're going to carry through. You got this bounce off the 80 level, so maybe it needs to relieve a little bit of pressure, get back up, retest that support, which is now resistance at 185. So I'll be there if it gets up there for a short. However, you were just talking about the market moving back to the upside, Brendo, and I know you were saying it too, Sean. So I'm in CrowdStrike, just scalping beneath VWAP. We'll get to the missed opportunity on it a little bit later, but I'm trying to get some of these fills in between 128.5 and 129 on the pop so that I can work this one to the south side this afternoon. Brendo?
We were talking about Fahad's lunch. Let's jump over to big tech once again. We'll run through some of this. Sean was looking at Meta there. Just keeping my eyes on. We got the beige book there at 2 o'clock, or 1 o'clock. It's 2 o'clock, not 1 o'clock. 2 o'clock when we came on there, just reading through some of the highlights from that. It talks about labor. It talks about inflation a little bit as well. So just bear that in mind. We are trying to move back to the upside, it would appear. Maybe on that beige book report. Yeah, it was all about, as I said, when we came on, all about interest rate talk and Powell obviously testifying for the second day. Really nothing significant coming from this second day, as we were thinking yesterday and mentioned this might be the tamer of the two. It turns out that way, guys. So not much to see as far as what came from this testimony today.
Yeah, Fahad not happy with the chicken, apparently.
It was cold.
Cold chicken. Yeah, I mean, it's a cold, I mean, it's, I don't know. I mean, if you just ate it when it got there, I mean, that would be a different
But that
story.
would just make sense, Sean.
Different story. Is that what you call that,
Brad?
Brad?
Would just make sense.
But okay. Anyways, it's. I don't know. I don't know what to expect here from tech. I mean, it's a pretty much a flat move right here today, right? Up 0.14, something like that. It's not a huge move upside for tech, but we just shorted again Meta, and I'm gonna. Let's go. I'm going to say the same thing again here today as I did yesterday. I just want to be short. I don't feel like the world solved any of its problems or anything anytime soon. Inflation's still what it is. We have to get the new prints. We have a jobs number coming on Friday. And I said this earlier, and I didn't catch too much heat for it, so I think that was pretty good that I said it then. And that is that Jerome just take a back seat right now. I mean, now that he's done, he can officially take a back seat. But I sort of thought that that's what he would do anyways today. It's all about the numbers, right? The numbers are going to come. I mean, look, the market opened up today right here, right? This is the market open right here, 12,186. Currently 12,182. So Powell came. He gave us all this, and now we're right here. So it's over with. I think we just wait for that jobs number to come through. Higher rates for longer. Obviously not great for tech names. The dollar today, you sort of gone over that a little bit already there, Brendo, with what the dollar's been doing here. And yeah, it's kind of doing the same thing. Tried to break through 105.75, didn't do that. Now it's pulling back a little bit. If this can start to go back up to the upside and take out this recent high of 105.70, which we're not far away from doing that right now, then I really think we could start to print out on some of these trades that we have. So I like the short in the NASDAQ, and I think I'm going to continue to be that way until we get that number, be that way tomorrow, and then we'll figure out what's going to happen on Friday when we get that number. Comes in hotter than expected. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how far down this market could go, to be honest with you. I still think we could test 12,000. We're a little ways away from that now at 12,173, but I think 12,000's there. And I don't want to say it, but we could test 3,800. You know, maybe that October low at 35. I don't know. We'll see if that comes into play.
I heard like I don't know who the analyst was, because you always hear these things get thrown out, but I thought someone threw out like 37, like 60 something. I don't know where that means anything. But look, if the job market is if the labor market is as strong as it's been showing in January, I mean, it tells you the Fed's throwing their hands up at that point, and they got to stay aggressive. So I did grab some CrowdStrike. It would be nice if it just went down to 125. We'll get to that again, but it didn't quite get the fills up to 129, but it wick topped this last little range. So kind of going back to the same level. I'm initiating at 128.40-ish. And then that's where I'm trying to get the short. And if I get any fills above, just kind of work those to the downside. Because I feel the same thing. The only long I'm in, we'll talk about Palantir when it gets to it. It's like just break this bottom. It doesn't want to break the bottom. It doesn't want to go up. So I've been sitting at the support level all day.
All right, let's go on to Rivian here. We were eyeing up this $1.3 billion senior note raise that they did. Finalized, in fact, late yesterday. So we were coming into a bit of a gap to the upside this morning in the pre-market. Ends up getting flushed out to new lows. But look what's happened here ever since. Strange candle. No volume behind that, but might be a dark print down there. 2% now back to the upside, guys. Trying to test highs even here for Rivian. Maybe a bounce due.
Well, it's definitely bounced. Yeah, it's definitely bounced. There's no question about it. But you know where it's come from. I guess I can. You guys all say you know what happened yesterday, right? Like Rivian got absolutely destroyed. And if I pull up the daily chart, it's not like it looks terribly. Looks a lot better. But 15 was sort of that last line in the sand from the second that got taken out. It did initially make a big move to the downside, and then it just started bouncing. There were scalp shorts in here. You're able to get like 60s down into like 40s and 30s, and then you reload and it gets stopped, and then you reload, and then it came up to 15, and that was okay till about 1480. I actually reversed to the long when it tried to take 15, but that was no good. If anything, it just feels like it's a short off these highs. So I mean, if it gets a back above, it feels like the money fills will be like it breaking 15 again, and that top was 15.10. I know I was long it, and it wouldn't break 10s over and over again. So I feel like you can maybe look for 15 to 15.10 for a scalp trade back into VWAP. That's obviously betting that the market's going to be weak. This is a relatively kind of strong name today. I think that goes without saying, up that 2%. So the other side of this, and I'm only going to mention it, there wasn't really a trade in Lucid today, but it was brought up this morning, and I love when the community here, and we have the best community. We're the only day trading show out here, or trading show out there live, but we have the best community anyways. And what I love about it is you see these setups, and then you get reminded of them or have these pointed out. Lucid found a heck of a bottom here, and if you look at this 810 level, and we actually got this via Super Chat this morning, that there was an opportunity if Lucid ever breaks this 810, you could have something going because there's a huge flush to the downside potential if it were to break that kind of support. Well, guess what? Support like that works in both directions. This one caught a bit of a bid here, so that's a support level that looks pretty solid if we flush today. But if 810 breaks, I like myself a flat bottom break. That's more likely. Rivian's been beaten so badly that I'm not sure it has one of those left in it, but Lucid hasn't broken its flat bottom yet.
All right, I'm just getting some of my orders all set up here to make sure that we don't get too stopped out. Okay, just lining up some meta because we got out, but then we're averaging into some more right now, and I want to take a little bit more shares. So I'm just going to change this to go up a little bit on what we want to do. Okay, all right, what do you want to talk about? Rivian, yeah. So Rivian was fine until it wasn't. I mean, and that's sort of the story with all stocks, I guess, at some point. But we were short Rivian really early, and then eventually it broke 15 just as we went off the air. Like literally 11:04 broke, and then that was it. Went down to 15.10. Now we'll see if it comes back down to the downside right now. 14.80, 15.10 right there. So yeah, man, so far so good here on Rivian. I still like the short. I mean, you're up 2%. I still like the short, but maybe we got flushed out today on relatively high volume, really early there. We had that flush. We reshorted it. Rivian's been fine, but not great. Would have liked for it to have continued its march to the downside, but all all good right now. Looking at that 15.10 high, we retrace back there. I still think Rivian's a short. I like the name to the short side, but still needs a little bit of work to be done here because I'm not sure why it's up 2%. And when you question why a stock is somewhere, then I don't think it's proper to trade it. So I'm going to stay away from Rivian now unless we break that bottom right here. Actually, maybe in 1570, back down to the downside, we'll stay away. But if the market collapses, then we're going to be banking on everything else. Oh, we actually have... hey, let's talk about this. So GM, let's go. Let's spin this one right now for GM. GM, pretty awesome move there today. I saw the note come out that they were producing way less EV numbers than they even expected. I think they're producing, honestly, it's like 4 Hummers a day. I think that was the number. And that's, that's not going to go any, like Tesla's going to pump out 4 of those Cybertrucks an hour or less than that probably. So, that's a huge disappointment for them. And I'm actually surprised at where GM is right now, still being only down 0.63. Thought it would have been a lot more. We hit it real early, got a great move down. We basically had the bottom of that move, and then we got it again, and now we're just going to hold GM until we break back above this level right here, 39.70. So 39.70, we're out of GM, which will put us flat, but right now we're short the name, and I like it in the car space off another failed report of yet again another company not living up to their EV expectations.
All right, another stock not living up to its gap this morning was Palantir. Gets back to 8.5, but that was it. As soon as the market turned over, I mean, we're at a huge level here on the daily chart as well for PLTR. If you missed it this morning, it was another contract. I feel like they have a, you can almost see a giant closet full of government contracts that Palantir has. Seems like there's one a week or so. Day lows, in fact, coming here, guys, it would seem, for PLTR.
Speaking of flat bottom breaks, I wasn't really complaining about Palantir. I was just sort of complaining about Palantir. 820, and I'll show you the daily chart first. There's your 200 period moving average on the daily. It's kind of clustered in there. I don't need to show, my daily chart does not need to show.
It does.
No, but I don't need to show my executions
I have no idea what
on
you're
the
saying.
daily chart. So all my orders, I actually am showing orders on my daily. Like, what's the point of showing my orders? I can show that in the 3-minute and 5-minute. But there's 820. That is also the 200 period moving average. So it's a flat bottom break if it happens. But then it did that thing where I'm in it, and then it wick bottoms. I hate even dollar stops. So you have an 820. I likely put a stop at 15 or 17 or something like that. Not to give it away or anything, but I just don't like having it at the even if it's a big level. So it wicks under, and when it does the wick under, and this is to 19 or 18, I think it was. I get more shares back at 25, and it was working. It pumps up, it goes to 835, and that's it. Like that's it. It bounces 820, goes 35. I'm like, okay. Then there's a seller at 30. I'm like, better take some more shares out at 30. Then I go long in front of the low. It holds the low and does nothing else. So market continues to go down. It holds the low, but it won't bounce. Sometimes it's just how it is because you think a stock's going to be more in play than it is. And, I'm still in the long. If it does something, I'll let you guys know. But right now, it's doing absolutely nothing. So it is what it is. I say that all the time, but this really personifies that. It's not moving. Just one more thing, because I don't think we're going to talk. It wasn't in the rundown. But NVIDIA's back at 240 again. So fun with the $240 level. Kind of went back and forth. We kind of picked the trade of the day, what we think might be a teachable moment. NVIDIA 240, this level has been a short. And it's been a decent one each time. This is the strongest it has looked when it's found resistance this week. Just to point out the obvious, breaks, gets to 42 flush. Breaks, gets to 41 flush. Gets to 40, back to 37, gets to 40, this time holds 38, gets to 40. You're getting higher lows and you're getting a consolidation at the top. So at some point this stops working. I get it. It feels like it's going to be now. It does have overhead resistance. I only put that look up so you can see. The breakout through this high on NVIDIA has yesterday's high at 41. It has 2 days ago at 42.5. So there is overhead resistance on this move. I'm just playing this to VWAP every single time. Scalps them out 39, and then the rest out at VWAP. Like, it's showing you, like 39, usually consolidation, and then VWAP. I could have held through VWAP there, but it's holding VWAP. It's actually trending to the upside, obviously, here. So if it breaks that 40, actually gets through this high, because that was wicked out once, then I'm out of dodge here on NVIDIA. But for now, it's just rinse and repeat because it's been great.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about Palantir other than what we've already sort of said right there about it. Disappointing, obviously, to break those levels and come back in on PLTR. So we got out of the way. What did you say? It was near the lows. Yeah, so we got out of the way of this name. It was a pretty disastrous trade early. It's the only negative name that we have on the board today. So happy with that fact. And the Qs actually is negative as well. But we'll talk about the futures when we go here. But right now, that's Palantir. I just want to say right now, we are just keep on doing the same sort of thing here with Palantir. We just talked about it with Meta. Meta just came back in again, and look what we're doing here. We just shorted these plays. We just got an 87, and we're starting to get them out again right now. So we're short at 80 right now on Meta, just 20 cents in the money. But we have decent position now, as we've been shorting Meta all afternoon, baby, just off this top of 184. Let's see if it continues to move down. But I'm getting nervous now, and it's obvious why. I'm going to put another bid out here at 62 if we can get it. I'm going to punch some 67s. We missed everything right there. There you go. We got 67s now. Hopefully we'll get 62 when it pulls back. I'm just looking at what these futures are doing right now, and they're above the 50 period, so that's not, for me, a great spot here to start shorting. But if we're in the short, not the jorts, Randy, the shorts, if we get out of that, then we'll be fine. So let's just get out of what we have now. We'll put it back down here to 183.50, 183.60, and put some bids down here. So hopefully we can get some out here if the market does fall. But right now, a little nervous that we might just hang around here all day. So we got to pick the right names. Palantir, for me, is not the right name today.
All right, CrowdStrike, bottom of the list there. We were wondering if there was a trade available. I mean, it was a good report. The stock was up nicely. It was the forecast that came in better than expected across the board. One of those stocks, though, guys, that we typically don't look at on a daily basis, but whenever there's a catalyst such as earnings, can give you an outside move today. CrowdStrike was a little tricky, though, off the open today.
I actually don't think it was tricky. I just think I suck. Because if you comment, because to me, like, we ended the show yesterday, and I sort of felt like we're not going to do what we did in Palo Alto on CrowdStrike. Because Palo Alto had a great quarter, beat across the board, everything up and down was fantastic, and then it continued the rally the next day. And then the next couple of days, the higher level support after it gapped up ended up holding strong. So you were going long basically off of a breakout and then resistance support for like 3 days in a row, and it was essentially free money. Well, I didn't think there was any chance CrowdStrike could do that without having a much better report, and it did not. They beat barely on all three. Like, the guide was a little bit better. The EPS beat was a little bit better. Revenue was a little bit better. It's still a little bit overpriced. So to me, there was no chance it was going to make as strong of a move. And I just looked right up at 135 and said that feels like it should not be breaking past these levels. It went there, and it's going to happen. You're trading. I was trading some Tesla at the open. You're trading 3 or 4 different names, Silvergate, because I was finally into that one, which I'm still short now, and I missed it. So I actually thought it was relatively simple. And then once it had flushed, like once you missed that trade, I wasn't chasing the move because I felt like, okay, it was still a bit of a beat here. Is it going to catch a bid? Now I'm in it now because it rejected this lower high at 130, and it feels like it's stair-stepping down. So, I mean, reject. There's the lower high from before. It broke 130 on the way down. 130 holds. The lower high here is 129, so I'm kind of shorting that area. So I'm joining the trend to the downside. But that was there. It was available, and I would never, you don't trade CrowdStrike unless it's earnings. Same thing with Palo Alto. For 2 or 3 days, it was good. So you want to make sure you're doing it while it's good. Because I promise you, a week from today, well, I'm not here next week, but I wouldn't be trading this 3 or 4 days after. Like today was the opportunity to short 135, and you might not get it again.
Yeah, I didn't look at CrowdStrike today, so I don't have too much comment on that one. I'm just looking at a few other things here. Netflix made a nice little happy face move all the way back up. So we're going to get out of if Netflix Meta takes down 184. We're 20 cents away from that. I still think that's in the pocket. So we'll short a little bit higher than that. But look at Netflix right now, just on the 1 minute chart here, or you can even look at a 3 minute. It's just as good here. Smiley faced it down to 308 right there, and look at this 308 bottom. Of course, we broke it here earlier, but that 308, maybe there's something here. 307.60. I mean, that very bottom is 306. We don't want to hold anything to that, but the next time you can sort of come back into here, maybe 308 or something there for Netflix could be traded. You're above everything now. Shout out, I forget, I think it was S-U. Yeah, these are all EMAs pretty much. The blue line here is VWAP. We have a 50-period EMA and then a 200-period EMA. It doesn't even matter. Like on our charts, because we have some of these wicks and things like that, they should pretty much line up whether or not you have an EMA or an SMA on your charts. So I don't know how else to sort of look at that, but I've changed them, and they don't really make too much of a change. And, of course, it's just in the way it's calculated, the open versus the close. You guys can look all of that up right there. But, okay, Microsoft, again, a name that this one we were going to do, like Neil said, we were going to do a trade of the day on it. But what we actually do is, I don't even know if I think we should do teachable moments, and we try to find them that have both. But today was we had the Google. You did Google, or NVIDIA was a little bit higher up, I guess, on the YouTube search charts.
I did Google. I thought.
You did Google. Yeah.
NVIDIA was actually a better trade for me, but I did Google anyway.
I think the cleanest trade here today was Microsoft, and we talked about it here being on the sticky note today for a short. I mean, we wrote it down. It comes in right there, right off the open. And again, we just shorted it off these top wicks. The minute we saw these top wicks here like this, where is it, right here, off the open, there was 2 or 3 of them, and then we got in, I think 2 of them. Then we got in, and we were also using some of these here in the pre-market. And I don't use all these wicks to mean anything, like especially this one. It's just like when I can sit here and watch it up, slam down, up, slam down, up, slam down, and doesn't hold up there. Now, it can either break and we get going, which is fine, and we would have lost, or it holds, and this is what happens. So it's 254.50. Our first outs there, 250, like, we're short at 30 here. Our very first out is 67 cents the other way. So we're taking 70 cents just because. Then it goes all the way down, and there's $1.50, and then all the way down there. Now you're really starting to crack, and then down to there. You want to talk about a trade? That's 254.40 all the way down to 251.20. And guess what? That's the bottom of the damn day right there. We have the top and the bottom. The top and the bottom for Microsoft right there. So if we're going to short anything, I think Microsoft right here at 253 could definitely be shorted. So we'll look at that. But look what's happening right now as well. Here we go. Like, what's up to Bob, my friend from the AM? Shout out to you, Bob. Hope you're good and everything. But there's the money again coming in. So here comes Meta to that downside one more time. Fill it up. Like, I mean, we're full, hopefully, of lessons and of trades that you guys can learn off of. So there's one Microsoft this morning, and here's Meta right now. Weak, so we short it, and that's what's good right here. Nice move down for Meta. We just averaged into it. We are going to get out at 184 if it breaks. So look at the math here. We're short at 85. When we got this position, we're taking 15 cents worth of risk. So now we're in the money 30. So it's a 2-to-1 winner, and hopefully we can continue with this trend of the downside move for Meta, despite, Neil, the market moving all the way back up.
Yeah, this market is bouncing. So we didn't talk crypto here, and I know we'll do a crypto update, but another day, I am short Silvergate, and I have been shorted for most of the day. I get it. It is bouncing. It's above VWAP, but the flat bottom break at 5. The only moment I got stopped out of it at $5 on a reload when it got up there, but I just jumped right back in the trade when I got wicked out. And it's only been bouncing to VWAP. So another bounce at VWAP here, essentially trying to get like 95s to evens. And if it follows through and the market rolls over, I think Silvergate is still weak. None of their problems are solved or anything like that. There's some activist investors in there. And maybe it turns around. I'm not here to speculate on whether the company gets turned around or anything like that. But the reason most of the time it goes to the upside is you have shorts covering 70-something% short, and so that's why it goes up when it goes up. But even the moves back up, it just is like nothing doing. It won't break any major levels since it had that big capitulation. So until it's above, say, like 650 or 665, whatever this happens to be, I think it's actually 665, maybe even $7. It just feels like I'll be looking for the next short on this name. And as long as it continues to kind of give you the opportunity, you just want to go to the well. Someday it's going to stop working. We said this with Bed Bath & Beyond. It started like $3 or $4, and then eventually you just kind of stopped shorting every single pop that was available to you, and it's not working anymore. But you got to go to the well until it runs dry. I'm on the bid here, CrowdStrike, and zooming back in for you guys. I want to get this 127.80 here. Just going to try and bag 50 pennies on this. I think if the market rolls back over, Crowd can retest the low. So I want to rinse and repeat this, but I only want fills 128.40-ish and better. until we break this channel to the downside. If we break the channel, and this is about 127.25, that gets taken out, fair enough, then I'll go for some of these lower highs. But I think if the trend is going to continue here, CrowdStrike could go all the way back to flat on the day, which it was at one point. So NVIDIA was a new position. I've reloaded a couple times in CrowdStrike. If we get a third, we do. Fair enough. And there's nothing, it's going to show me in Palantir the low until it breaks the low of the day. So when Palantir breaks the low, I'll be out of that long. If it never breaks the low, then I'm getting out of it at like 350. Or if it pops, great. But at this point, it doesn't want to go anywhere.
All right. Yeah, if there's any names you guys want me to look at, I mean, I'm just sort of, relaxing here with what we have on Meta, and I don't want to overtrade it and get out or get in and all that kind of stuff, back and forth nonsense here with Meta. I do have a bid down here in the 30s. I mean, we are 40 cents in the money. We just took a couple pieces out here at 50, so we're a little light on it, but we're not. But we're lighter on our shares right now, back down to the downside. So FSLR. Disney? All right. M. Conti, I will do Arlo only if you stop doing that. Okay, FSLR. Let's have a quick look at that one. First Solar, again. So because of the spread looking like this is not normally a name that I would look at to trade for a day trade or anything like that. Intraday trade, maybe if you're going to swing it or something. Maybe there could be something like that. Yeah, so... All right. I mean, I know Enphase has been going crazy as of late. First Solar, again, up to 214. I mean, these bottoms are where they are right now. You're well above all these lines. Looks like you're starting to go back up to the upside. This actually looks like a long, not a short to me, especially like right into here. You really barcoded and then barcoded again, and this time you popped. That time you dropped. So I'm going to go with the recent momentum on a pop right now, despite still being down 0.45%. I still do like that move there for First Solar, back up to the upside. And then just like Enphase we talked about, how insane that name's been going. I mean, here's another one, First Solar, straight up to the upside off of, I think this was an earnings call right there. Huge move up. I know Biden did that bill for the clean solar there. Nice move to the upside, FSLR. And then what's up to Mr. Conti?
Yeah, that was earnings.
Let's look at, that was the day. Yeah, I have to mark it down on my e-signal chart.
Can I do this for a second?
You can show it, yeah.
Very quickly, I just want to shout out, because the second Sean's like, was that move earnings? I went over to Trade Ideas, right? Because they have this little feature here where you pull up your chart and you can have this blocked off, which just shows you, there's your E for earnings. You can put dividends on there as well. I always have it going. As you can see, I got some races to see what's moving. SoFi has been moving a little bit. But anyways, I just wanted to quickly show that. So just so you know, is that move or that line on the chart on volume, is it earnings or is it nothing? Is it something different? Because it does matter from time to time, the nature of those little wicks. But
time after time, yeah.
Great song.
Yeah, that does matter. Okay, so Arlo right now. Arlo Technologies. Big move up today, up 48%. Looking at some charts here, you have a $5.50 stop spot where you're running right into right now. I mean, these are the trades, man. These are the trades. Like, this is what you're looking for, in my opinion. You make that move all the way back up to the upside. And the thing is, if you get out here at 550, I don't think you'll be upset. I mean, it depends where you're long, of course. You're long up here somewhere. Maybe take this opportunity to get a little bit lighter. But we've already been up here. This is not the first time that this stock has gone from $4 to $5.50. It happened right here. Just took 4 or 5 days to get there. Once it got there, it did return back. I still think the ultimate would be right here, 6. So if you're pretty happy with 520, save yourself maybe 10%. Don't worry about $6. Get a little bit out now. And then if it does crack back in, I mean, look at this 450 level. That looks pretty good to me as well. And nice volume, 13 million shares. We probably have to pay for shorts on this name. What does it look like on a 3? I'm not going to look at a 1-minute chart. It's obviously well moving now. So yeah, I still think this looks very, very bullish right here. That's a 50 period at 520. That looks like a good level. And then, VWAP is all the way up here at 5. So I like this. I don't mind this level. I think this is a good name here. We started at 4. We got going there today. As long as you're above $5, I think you got the green light to buy Arlo Technologies.
Arlo. For some reason, that name rings a bell for a TV show, and I'm like,
there might be a TV show called Arlo.
That's what I think. There's a show called Arlo that I've seen. But anyways, it doesn't really matter. It's not really a big deal. But NVIDIA.
Are you joking about that? Or?
No, I'm not. I think
no, there really is one.
Oh, there is?
Yeah. That's why I'm almost sure. I thought you were joking.
No, I can't.
There is a show.
I can't picture the show.
Arliss.
Our list. No, that's it. No, it's our list.
That's what
it's
it is.
Our list. Thank you.
Okay, good.
You can see the gray. Sometimes
I looked at you and I was like, no, Neil's serious. He's not sure if there's a show like that.
No, I actually wasn't sure.
But it is our list. Good one. Yeah, okay.
I can picture the guy. He's got curly hair,
exactly,
big forehead.
I know exactly the guy's glasses.
I don't know the actor's name. You guys can
Arlo, his name is. Arlo Guthrie, is that right?
No.
I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on.
No,
I'm
no,
not
I
even gonna look at the chat.
Alex Newfield in the chat. I know Fargo. I'm not.
Yes.
Come on, great movie. Okay, show. Nvidia just made. I was just going to talk about Nvidia here. Just made that over under, whatever you want to call it, that break of 240. Remember that high is not remember. The high is 240.35. I'm saying remember for myself, but this is still super strong. I might have to just trim this, and if it gets down to the 60s, close to break even, well, a little bit better than that, and then get some out 39. If VWAP happens, VWAP happens. But Nvidia is definitely on one. And there was a good question of why are the semis strong? There was, and look, Nvidia is strong, and today AMD, I'm showing you AMD because that's another name which is showing you all kinds of strength. There was some activist action on an AMD that was causing it to go to the upside, but it's been a weak sector. And it had been getting beaten up, and it made such a gigantic top and pull back. I just think some of this looks technical. That's the best way to put it. I don't know if it's anything more than that, but you just bounced off the 200 period on a trend to the upside, and you're getting right back to the trend high. So maybe it's that, because that's what AMD seems like it's doing. That's what NVIDIA is doing. If you're asking about Intel, quite frankly, I think Intel just is bouncing off the 52-week low. So it's in a different bucket, but if it's not the same thing. I think you're just joining that trend, and it's continuing to trend up, these names, with the exception of Intel. Those are the three that I really look at. So not a really hardcore explanation, just maybe something a little bit technical with it. CrowdStrike, just to go back to one of the names that I'm trading here. I did get that fill. It is now continuing to the downside. If it breaks this channel down, I think it goes to 125. I'll be looking for some re-entries along this way, but it's not making drastic moves here. So I want to wait for opportunities to get filled closer to VWAP, or it flushing and making a new range. It's just kind of dancing in a 40-cent range. This will have a 5-10 cent spread on it, so you want to make sure you're grabbing enough of a move here on something like a CrowdStrike.
Yeah, Bears vs. Bulls. I remember that dinosaur show. Those guys are pretty cute, those little dinosaurs. I forget what those guys' names were, but they were funny. And he said, not the mama. There was something about that. He used to throw things or say something about the mama. I know, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, wasn't they just called dinosaurs?
I think it was called dinosaurs.
I think that's
just a family, right? It's like,
yeah.
I mean,
real creative name.
Everybody
right?
remembers Alf. I mean,
Melmac.
The thing is, I wonder. I mean, we're too old. I mean, I think our audience is like, what the hell are these idiots talking about? But that's probably like normally they probably think that. So I don't know what they're thinking now.
Alf was great.
I hope they all know Alf. I think it was just dinosaurs. Yeah, that would make sense for that one.
Well, that's a dumbass name. Come on,
is that a dumbass name?
Are we giving them credit? Because you got to do better.
That's a good name, man. I mean, tell people what it's all about. Okay, so I don't know. We're getting a little bit. I mean, we're in now. We're into Meta. So Meta just came into 183.85. What's my average price? 85. So that's exactly what just came through right now for this. So we're now short Meta, and I don't know about that 184. We are now I don't want to say well above, but we're well above the 50 period. Now we're coming back, which is all good. But there's that 12,200. Made me a little bit, I'm a little bit nervous now. I'm going to get a little bit more out on Meta. And the reason why, I don't even know if we just got filled there at 83. We did not. But I'm just thinking maybe this does want to get back up to the ups. Okay, we just got an 83, so now we're getting lighter on it. But I don't mind being wrong, where it's only 15 cents. Now we're just a little bit lighter. We're going to get something out if we come into the mid-70s there again for this name. I just wonder about this 12,200 right here in the NASDAQ. Let's do a little bit longer of a look on the NASDAQ here. My order's already there to get out, so it's not. I'm just going to make sure that I have the right amount of shares right now. I'm just going to lower my shares on the punch out just in case. Okay, let's just have a quick look. This is a 30-minute chart for the NASDAQ. The ES right now is bound. I mean, it's not doing anything. It's similar to the NASDAQ, so forget about it. But there's that 12,150. We're bounced off that already today. So you're a little bit ways away from that. You're 40 handles away from that. And the 12,200 really isn't that key into here. That top is 12,248. So if we really have to be nervous, it's that top that was hit right there, I guess, this morning or yesterday. And then all the way back here for the 23rd, 12,250. So I'm looking at that as the top. That's not going to affect my meta trade. I was just sort of thinking about where we were in the scope of things here. But yeah, this 12,200 is kind of not that big. That level that we had Dan a couple times there, Dan Emmons on the show, talk about that 11,960. That's ways away. I don't know, Dan, if you're in the chat, if there's any sort of a level around here that you were looking at on the NASDAQ, put it in the chat. Whoa. And maybe I'll have a little bit of a broader look. Here's but we just got another fill out there at 75 now on Meta. That's a dime. So now we have a much more comfortable position considering where we are. If we were under the 50 period and that fill came in, I don't think I would have covered it because I would have thought that we'd had some more movement down. But now we still got to get to the 50 period and then break. So hopefully that can happen. We have a good position here in Meta. We're still in the money on, let's take it out on GM right now, as we're still in the money for that as well. And I did want to give a big shout out. We didn't do this on our show, but those costumes are being worn.
Oh, so yeah,
Sharif,
it's great.
Yeah, Sharif and Luca, because of you guys getting all those likes that one day, 10,000 likes or 8,000 likes, whatever it was, they are going to be in Sesame Street get up. One will be the Cookie Monster, so I have to have some cookies for that. And then one's going to be Big Bird. It's Sharif and Luca. Sharif's going to be Big Bird. Bing Bong, yeah, what's up? The New York subway there. They're going to do that on Friday. So I want to thank everybody for the contributions and the super chats. We're going to get some beers. There's going to be some pizza. They're going to be eating that in their costumes and trading.
Where do you
Should
see
be
Luca?
Absolutely hilarious. I mean, Luca's costume's an extra large.
Like we haven't seen him in it, but I mean.
Yeah, I don't know how
it's an extra large
going to go. I mean,
so I have no idea how he's going to pull that off. I really don't know.
The Big Bird's going to be the hypest of all hype.
I would agree. I just want to quickly go to a name. I'm not trading. I haven't traded this name, but I just want to pull up FinViz here Float Checker, because this BLPH that a lot of people are looking at, 9 million float. Well, 7 or 9 million doesn't really matter. Tiny float. Think of it that way. So very, very tiny float, and it's going again. This is what you wanted. What was that penny stock the other day? Whatever.
KA.
TRKA? Troika.
Yeah.
So this is what you want to have happen. Like you want like the previous consolidation level to just remain the same, and then like double top and then clean breakout. So what didn't happen at 80 cents is happening on BLPH at 5. So these breaks are worth it. They're worth it because the pattern it shows you. And then even look at the afternoon support, 4:30. Look at the morning support. I mean, come on. Like, it breaks it by 10 cents. If that stops you out, fair enough. Like, you could be okay with that because you had it dead right technically. So that's a pretty clean break. I don't know that you want to fight this. It's not even, like, this is not one of your normally terribly looking charts either. So this is a very, very strong move. I just believe it has to do something crazy. Like, if it were to halt, I would pay for shorts and consider it, because then a halt to the upside would give you maybe some reasons to short it. But this is on one, and it's a tiny, tiny float. So be careful with the spread and liquidity and everything that goes with it. But a great technical break for all of those that caught it. Kudos to you. Wish I had seen this one earlier. I know the midday guys had it. My concern, I know you're looking at Meta. The market is trying to bounce here. Every time I had bid on NVIDIA, and it just, like you can see, it gets right there and just kind of bounces a couple of cents away. So the next time it gets down there, I'm just gonna let it float into the 50s, and then I'm just gonna punch the offer to get a fill instead of just waiting around on the bid. Now I want this market to roll over. I see the same thing as you, Sean, the market making a lower high and coming back in, so the trend feels down. So anything at resistance feels like it's in play for the short. So that's what I'm gonna go with. Until it proves wrong, I'm 1 cent away from being stopped out on Palantir. It has to happen.
Oh,
right?
Palantir,
Palantir, I mean. And LK,
no friend of mine.
LK asking if we look at the 50 to 200 period cross, does it matter? I have the 50 and the 200 simple on my daily charts. So I don't trade off of like golden crosses and death crosses, not really. Because to me, like the trend, I mean, okay, so golden cross and NVIDIA, it's trending up. Well, we can all see it's trending up. So,
yeah.
Like,
the saying is the golden cross has predicted 15 of the last 4 recessions.
There you go. But but if it's trending up, it's like, okay, well, I can pull up NVIDIA and see that it's trending up. That's all, it's not whatever. Not really. I had those 2 indicators on my chart. I use them more for support and resistance and general trend, it just helps to be able to see a general trend turn. You don't really need the cross for that, though. That's my 2 cents. If you use it and it works for you, kudos.
I missed what you were saying there, comp SRX1, certainly not Sean, difficult stock. I have to figure out, I don't know what stock you're talking about, but I want to say what's up to ASL there in the chat. He said that Neil and I are more like these two dudes, the two old guys in the theater.
I love those guys.
Remember that? Like these guys would sit down there and like trash talk and stuff like that. So I think that that would be great for us to be this, you know.
I'd love those
the hair problems, we're older, we've got the white hairs going on here. I mean, I like to think our noses are a little bit, you know, but anyways, great call out on that one. Shout out to Sesame
You got to
Street.
be the mustache guy.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that one out, but that'd be hilarious.
I'll do a good
to do all that. And again, you know, if anybody works for, who is Sesame Street anyways? Any of those companies, you know, you guys want to throw down some sponsors?
You know what's cool? So now just going back down memory lane. Well, not really, kind of. I was showing my daughter some, not Sesame Street, but like the Muppets. It was like Muppets Treasure Island.
Muppets are kind of back right now, aren't they?
Tim Curry was in the Treasure Island movie. And so like those two are there,
Henson, right.
but like they're just kind of, they're not really characters. They just sort of sit there and commentate,
sorry?
like the two old guys.
Oh yeah, I know.
And so she's like, what's with those two? They're not really in the movie. And
She
I'm like,
asked about that?
and I basically said, those two are just there for the adults that watch this, and they make jokes that only we get.
Okay, that's
and that's
a good
it.
answer, yeah.
They put I love any cartoon or any children's show, if you take the time to actually put content in there that is purely for the adults that have to watch it when they're with their kids,
It's much
I'm like, I
appreciated.
immediately love that show. Like that's what I love about. I love it about the Muppets. They'll drop some jokes in there, and it's like, everybody does it now, but not everybody did it back in the day. So good for that. I'm all for those two characters. They are literally my favorite too. Although it finally happened. There it is. It only took, my first fill was at 10.12, and finally Palantir has failed. So now, and now your failure is complete. There you go. So my failure is complete on Palantir. We'll slap the L on that one. The fact that it's going down, however, is a good thing for NVIDIA, which I said if it got in the 50s, I would just remove liquidity. So the last of the longs is gone. Now NVIDIA tries to track back into VWAP. If it gets to VWAP, I'm getting all out. I think it holds VWAP. It's held VWAP until it doesn't. I'm going to go with that. So get another bid out here at 39 even, and then we'll see where we go from there. CrowdStrike, that's holding fort, but come on, like give me the fills up here or give me the big flush into the downside. I'm not chasing that move. We'll rinse and repeat at the key price levels, but at the key price levels. That's the way I want to play it.
Yeah, so we just got a nice move down on Meta here as well. So we'll take that fill all day. Every day, bang for you guys right there. What's up, Steve G? What's up, Adrian? What's up, Chris J? What's up, everybody there in the chat? Thank you so much for joining us here one more time today. One of the best kid shows of all time. I don't know if you've heard of it because it's pretty gangster, and I don't know if anybody's heard about it in the chat, but it's called Yo Gabba Gabba.
I've heard of that.
They have a song that's called Don't Bite Your Friends. And the guys are like, don't bite your friends. And I'm like, my kid was watching, like when my kid was little, I'm like,
hype.
what exactly are they teaching? But the funny thing is, and
That
you talked
makes
about,
you,
I don't know people, I'm gonna see if people know about this in the chat, but there's also something there. They've had like great character. Jack Black's been on there. Like it's kind of like a Sesame Street where there's lots of good guys. But I feel like you talked about something for adults. It's like every time they cut to a different scene, it's like all this psychedelic, all this kind of crazy stuff. So I'm like, this is for like the adults that sit down there and they're just zoned out, chilling. If you know what I'm saying, and you could watch the show and still fully enjoy it. It's called Yo Gabba Gabba, and yeah, see, people know it, so that's pretty good.
It's
Fat Albert was legit as well.
I love
but we don't want to talk
I had
about
that on vinyl.
What's his name there?
I know, whatever, man. Shit was funny. I just said vinyl, but my dad had, it was his, it didn't belong to me, but he had Fat Albert on vinyl. We would play it all the time,
Yeah.
like the show. That's
classic,
how old I
too
am,
classic.
man. I don't even care. Like that was a classic. It's funny is funny, man. You got to be able to separate the art from the people sometimes. It is what it is. Someone just tricked me into, no, you know what, that's not true. Someone just mentioned, because I'm in CrowdStrike, so when I heard someone in the chat just say, oh goodness, big volume spike on PanW, I care, it matters, but I don't think that's legit. Like that's way too big of a volume spike to have been real. Like it doesn't feel like that was real. However, this bouncing, if that's a legitimate volume spike, it doesn't make sense to me. It should have moved more than 40 cents. if it really just doubled the volume on the day. There's no chance to double volume on the day and move 40 cents. So if that was legit and it was breaking out on this move, I'd probably be considering how far it's going to drag CrowdStrike with it and whether I wanted to rinse and repeat. But I don't think that was real. And I saw someone in the chat just mention Blippy.
No, you know what? What's that Obama?
No, because Blippy.
Boondocks.
Okay, so Boondocks is, I think Boondocks is the most intelligent cartoon.
Adult cartoons, baby.
That's out there. Rick and Morty. Okay, Rick and Morty is the funniest, but the Boondocks. I'll tell you this right now.
That Obama song is almost my favorite song of all time.
If your cartoon is shown on BET, like BET, Black Entertainment Television.
BET, wait a second.
No, like BET was who showed Boondocks.
Yes.
And if you're basically going to do what no one else shows you, and you're going to do an episode spoofing and mocking the channel when you're not the Simpsons.
You're on the channel.
Like, there weren't Simpsons mocking Fox. Aaron Magruder is so gangster. He's like, I'm doing this episode. I don't even care. I'm pointing out all the flaws at BET because that, and what? And what are you going to do to me? And they kicked the show off, and you didn't care. And I respect that because the guy did not pull any punches. It is one of the funniest episodes I've ever seen, and everything that they dogged BET for was true. So, as far as I'm concerned, I love that kind of art, man. You got to be able to do that sometime. So, Shadow, I love cartoons. We go all day on this.
I'm not sure how this got derailed. Oh, it was because of on Friday, it's costume day. Not for me and this guy, but for the other two, as they will be in full garb and everything.
Not that we wouldn't do it if it,
I mean, we had some kick-ass Halloween costumes, I still think, and we're going to do some more of that coming up soon as well. For this coming Halloween, should be great. We already have some great ideas for that one. Neil and I, it was Pulp Fiction, and that was great. I'd love to do that again, over and over and over again, as many times as we possibly could. So I'll find a picture of that one. I don't know if anybody has that. You can send it, because for some reason, our Twitter account, like our main one, didn't even tweet that out. So, and I'm not bitter about it.
There's a picture.
There is a picture of us in front of that screen, the green screen.
I know. There is a picture. I don't know where it is.
I'm going to find it.
Because I just found out who took it. I think it's on somebody's phone.
Oh, it's Liz or somebody.
It's not on my phone.
It can't be on a phone. It was produced. It was in front of the green screen.
Somebody had their phone, I thought.
No, but what I'm saying.
Oh, no, I know the one that.
It had to be edited because it was in front of the green screen, so we'll be able to find that. But anyways, we're just getting. Look, man, the bank is open. Money, Tim Duncan. Where's Tim Duncan at? The bank is open right now, and yeah, it's well open. As there it is. Let's go. Bring it, Meta. Another fill down there at 50 cents. Yeah, man, this is so far so good, to say the least here, as Meta is starting to flush out here. We've been doing pretty good holding. We did get a piece out when it went back to the 50 period. We talked about that. Now it's flushing. It's the same story as yesterday. We want to be net short. So I want to be short this name. So that's what I'm doing right now. We are short, M short, all of that. Let's hold it. Let's see how far down Meta wants to go. But hey, don't get it twisted. I do have a bid here right at 42. And then after that, then we can see down here in the 20s. So let's put a bid in the 40s, see if we can get a piece out, another piece out, and then we'll start to go into the 20s. So put a bid down here right now. I'm just going to do it right here. Make sure I don't have another one. I don't want to get overfilled. Put one at 43. We'll see if it comes down. And why pick 43? And again, a lot of us, and Neil and I just want to thank everybody. We get a lot of nice comments all the time about the teaching points and all that. So I'm just going to go back right into there, right where that last little dip buy was at 43. We'll sit there. If we get taken out, we get taken out. It's for 10% of what we have left. Then we'll let it drop back into here, because the market right now, I don't get the same opinion as yesterday, same feeling as yesterday, that it's going to absolutely tank or anything. So let's just wait to see what happens. We're not really at any key levels yet. Hopefully this market can fall, but we did take a piece out right there for Meta.
Yeah, and so I'm getting a little bit cautious on this PanW thing. And thank you guys for pointing out there was a volume spike. It's like, sitting there trading CrowdStrike. I wasn't really even watching PanW because it wasn't doing anything, Palo Alto. And then you get the volume spike. It's continuing to the upside. So if this gets a little more hairy into 189, it's very likely that it starts dragging crowd with it. It hasn't happened yet, but I have that on my mind. Like, you've got to, whether you're looking at an ETF, the overall market, you want to keep in mind that these things don't trade in a vacuum by themselves. And were Palo Alto to have some kind of a big breakout, not that I think that volume spike was anything, then that could put some pressure on CrowdStrike to the short, but I think it's fine for now. So I'm going to go back to the well on this. I'm going to get back on the offer of NVIDIA, but I want to get fills. Each time it tests, I want a better price. Like that, it's rubbing right up to that 240 when it gets there. So I want to make sure I'm getting that price and almost right to it. There is one name that I haven't had a fill on. And we had the 65 short into VWAP on coin. I hate myself for getting out of it too early. But now it's giving a weird sort of flat bottom. It's not really a flat bottom break. It's just consolidating, doing nothing. And the market's starting to roll over, and I like coin short. So that's a long way of saying I want to short this one in front of VWAP. So you have 63 here for cover. I want to wet the beak. I think the better fills are above 62.5. So I figure if I keep saying it, I can just turn it into something myself.
It is your thing now. That's why I'm hitting Austin. We talked about that earlier. It's wetting the beak. You talked about it from Godfather. So I just wanted to find out, because it was literally, you used to say gift horse in the mouth, and that hasn't been said, I feel like, in ages.
I'm basically stealing. I'm stealing
You've
everything.
a lot from Sharif, I
anything that Sharif comes up with that I think is cool, I'm going to steal it and then turn it into my own until he becomes a Liverpool fan. And which will probably never happen, which means I'm just going to constantly steal things from him because it's a lot of fun to do. And Sharif's such a nice guy about it too. That's the best part. The nicer.
I don't think he's going to be that upset that
Brad,
you stole.
this is true. The nicer somebody is, then the more fun it is to kind of like, have the back and forth and dig at him because it's always cool. I thought someone chuckled about it. I thought it was you. Somebody chuckled.
Prad's known as not being very nice, I feel like.
Yeah, why you gotta be like that?
Like all these guys are like, man, Prad just keeps on dogging me and this and that. So shout out to Sharif and family over there. Sharif's everyone's a very nice person, or else, quite frankly, they wouldn't be here, right? So shout out to you, Prad, everybody out there as well. Liverpool, okay, so now you're getting some people started there. Yes, there's a party in my tummy. Yeah, that's right, euthanasia, you got that. There's so many songs. That's from that Yo Gabba Gabba. It's so stupid, that show, but it's hilarious. Okay, so look, man, we just got a little bit greedy on Meta, waiting for, you know what it went down to? 43 or 42s, whatever it was. I got missed just by pennies there on Meta, so I'm a little bit pissed off about that. I said, remember we said we were waiting at 43 right there? Look where it went to, 40, 45. So now we got to pay up a little bit, but that's okay. We are going to pay the piper a little bit here, get something out. Shoot, now it's really going back up. That sucks. So once we missed that, I put a 47. We missed that. Then I just put a 56. We missed that. So now we're at 59. Hopefully, he can come back in and fill us a little bit there as the party is going on Meta right now. Right back up to the upside. Just a quick check before we go over to Brendan. I just want to check out Rivian quickly. Yeah, so I sort of thought, for some reason, I was like, Rivian's probably taking the high, and it just did that right now. So I don't know how that sense came in, but there it is, Rivian up to the high side. And then just quickly, because we always do get questions about Tesla, and there it is. So it just came back in. We got over a little bit of our Meta there. Tesla, I didn't actually realize Tesla was down 3%. Oh yeah, that's why I got so frustrated this morning. I didn't even look back at it. I didn't realize Tesla was even down 3% today, and that's actually a lot better than where it was. It bounced off that 180 clean. Oh my God. We talked about 180 earlier. It bounced clean. It bounced again off of 180.
In fairness,
No fairness.
I did say that because I covered my short too early, and I'm like, but look at that 180 level it bounced off of. I said it a couple times. I don't think
I didn't know it went back the second time.
It did it the second time.
I did know, obviously, it did it this morning because, and just quickly, again, we're going to go to Brendan.
Are we though?
Potentially we are not, but we will. I just want to show you why 180 was so key, and then we'll throw over to Brendan. And this is nothing that's like, oh my God, I can't believe we picked that level. It was just right here. It's the 50-day moving average, roughly. I mean, it's a little bit higher now, but it's just right into here, 180. It's this line. We broke it there, went back up to the upside. So it's not like 180 on the dot, but there was 180, broke down, bounced back, hit 180 there, bounced around for a couple days, came back, touched it again before eventually going to 100, and then it broke right there, 180, and that shot it to 220. So that's why we looked at 180 earlier on this morning, and we should have looked at it again. To me, with the weak mark, I mean, we're still short right now in counting our blessings on Meta, but maybe Tesla does come into 180 again. This time, though, I don't think it holds. Once, twice, 3 times, gone. Just like in baseball there, and I just found out that my daughter got taken to the High Park Jets, which is the minor league team in High Park for the Pirates. So I'll be probably sporting some Pittsburgh Pirate gear later on this year.
Old school, though.
But yeah, exactly. So is there new school Pirates gear? I just want the black with the yellow P. Isn't that what it is? Is that what you said?
You know that old stuff. Have you seen the one from the 70s? We'll go to Brendan in a second.
Oh, yeah. It's the stripes.
Yeah.
Those are the best jerseys.
Those are the best.
I like the Padres as well.
Let's go to
go to Brendan. But just
reading a little more on Palo Alto there. A few people discussing that large size that came off, but there's no news that I could see, but it does seem to be a print or two, at least in that area. Let's get into what's happening now. We have 60 minutes to go, actually. About less than that now anyways, but it was all about Fed's Powell once again today, sticking to his hawkish messaging, same as yesterday. We heard more of the same as far as the comments that came through, including him going out of his way to emphasize the fact that they have not made a decision yet on the upcoming meeting for March 21st and 22nd, and that will remain data dependent, of which we have a ton on the way, both Friday this week with non-farm payrolls, and then both PPI and CPI coming next week. So more to come. Here is, meanwhile, almost 80% still in favor of the 50 basis point hike to come on the 22nd versus 22% just for the quarter print. That's how the market is taking in all of this, kind of shrugging its shoulders and saying, oh, well, 0.5% for the Dow. That's the worst off right now. Russell 2000 about the same. NASDAQ 100 has gone green, so there's that. But overall, pretty muted here, guys, after what happened yesterday. Back over to you.
We'll take muted as long as it continues the trend to the downside. I mean, obviously, I'm saying that, but like tongue-in-cheek. I'm not saying that tongue-in-cheek because if it's at resistance, it's working, and it's giving you the fills. Although the second I put an offer, remember I wanted those fills close to 240 on NVIDIA? Like you threw an offer out there, and then it just immediately starts going to the downside. I think we're headed to VWAP in here, so let's go. Congratulations! At the end of the day, I know we always like the market to go up, but when you find a good trade, or when you find a key level, when you find a direction, you got to work with it. So I ask myself this: as the market starts to roll back over, what is not working? So Coinbase is already working to the downside. CrowdStrike, we'll see what happens with that because Palo Alto's still going up, and CrowdStrike is only 40 cents in the money when it was better than that before. But look at SI, just continues. Somebody is buying. It's like I hesitate to say this, but it's almost like there's program buying at VWAP. It's like it gets there. Impossible. And then what? Wow, there's an algo buying VWAP on SI today? Some big hedge fund that's short the living crap out of this thing is buying it every time it gets into VWAP to cover because, quite frankly, you got to cover somewhere, right? Like if you're short a stock, I don't know, pick a price, 160, 97, or it was over 200 at one point, I think, and 55. It doesn't really matter. It gets to $5. I mean, you probably want to take something out. So you got to cover it. I think that's a lot of what's happening here at VWAP. So I'm gonna get on the bid here. So I might have to get out of all of it at VWAP if that's all it wants to do. But NVIDIA is almost $1 in the money. I think Coinbase is going to give us $1 on this next little leg to the downside here. I just want it to get down. Actually, if it can't break 62, I might want to get something out here. I kind of looked at it sort of slowing down. So I might take some out at 62. I didn't get the money fills up here closer to 63. So got to respect the fact that it could put a higher low, give the better fills closer to VWAP, and then flush to the low of the day. So as we go down, going to look for re-entries on pops, pay yourself on the way out. And if something's not falling with the market right now, consider how aggressively you want to hold on to it.
Yeah, that's
if short.
I'm just getting out of some meta here because just like you're at NVIDIA, a great trade on NVIDIA, we're almost $1 in the money on this meta trade as well. So again, thank you so much for everything. This is me and my daughter right here. And I was actually just talking with the head coach there. He asked me to be a coach as well of her team, and I coached them last year. But the thing is like she's the only girl on the team. So like I'm just very proud of her, and especially on what is now International Women's Day.
It is.
I actually didn't even put 2 and 2 together there, so that's even makes me more proud of her. And he was like, Gia did so well at the combine that they it's unbelievable that the High Park Little League has to turn people down.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So they do like drills, like running, catching,
it's literally a
hitting,
combine.
All that kind of stuff. That's intense, man.
It's literally, and yeah, exactly. And he goes, apparently the word on the street was Gia was like a Gold Glove out there.
What's she playing?
I mean, they're hitting her ground balls.
Oh,
she'll probably be in the outfield, honestly. It's her first year.
Position?
So last year she loved playing third base, but she doesn't. In the Little League Diamond, though, I don't think she has the cannon, but we're working on that to get it across. Because we play she's only 8 years old, and she's going to be playing on like a dirt field
so
with a raised mound.
Yeah, what these guys don't know, like, so the High Park League, like that's the one little league here in the GTA where like I'll pop on like our local news channel and whatnot, and the highlights of the High Park League are the only ones that actually make the bigger news channel.
Well, they went to Lily World Series.
Yeah, like it's a good team. That's why I'm kind of asking. I'm a big baseball. I love baseball, so the hot corner is great, man. It's all about.
Yeah, but she won't be playing the hot corner, I don't think, and I don't know, but we'll see. Anyways, super excited for it and happy International
Kelly
Women's Day.
Gruber action in the corner there, yeah.
The best part about Kelly Gruber is when he got that strawberry when he was diving into home plate, or third base, I think it was, during one of the World Series games. It could have been an ALCS game.
Look, why I love baseball, you get gamers like that. I'll tell you right now, Kelly Gruber wasn't the best athlete on the Toronto Blue Jays. And the guy almost, he had almost an MVP type season. All he did is bust his ass, and like he's diving everywhere.
Yeah.
He never had that dude never had a clean. He didn't know what a clean jersey was, a player like that. That's what I used to love to play. Like, although, when you play center field, you shouldn't have to dive. Gotta be like deep.
What? No, center field guy, those sick catches, man. All those diving
When I
catches.
played the infield, I was diving everywhere.
What was the guy, Edmonds?
When I played center field, I didn't dive for nothing.
Jim Edmonds? Isn't that guy diving around everywhere?
It's because he wasn't as slick as Devo.
And then he went up that one by Devon White in the
World Series
against Atlanta.
That wasn't a dive. He jumped
that was
on the
Kelly
wall.
Gruber, by the way.
That was Kelly Gruber.
Yeah, who tagged Otis Nixon's
for the triple play.
Damn foot.
For the triple
and the
play.
ref was like, oh, I'm American. Anyways, I don't want to get involved with that one. So, anyways, the Jays dealt with both the Philadelphia Phillies and the Atlanta Braves.
Oh, this one's for you. This one's for you.
Yep.
We got a super chat here. Thank you, Akash. Happy Women's Day to Gia.
Well, we both have daughters, so to both of us. Glenn Allen Hill. Glenn Allen Hill was one of my favorite Blue Jays.
Really?
I liked the guy. I mean, he was a little odd, but didn't he have a huge cannon? Or was the other guy?
No.
Derek Bell.
Hard-hitting Mark Whitten had
Mark
the cannon.
Whitten, that's who it was.
Hard-hitting Mark Whitten.
Derek Bell, too.
The only player to hit 4 home runs in a game that you have never heard of. Hard-hitting Mark Whitten. He hit 4 bombs in a single game. He has the MLB record for RBIs in a game.
We signed the most ridiculous contract to Vernon Wells. Do you remember that? That was ridiculous.
I love Vernon Wells.
Yeah, but
best outfielder in Jays history was Jesse Barfield, bar none. He is the coolest dude out there. And when it comes to like engagement with the fans and giving fans like a fantastic experience and really being down to earth with them, like there are some people like you meet. When I grew up, like he was my favorite player as a little kid since I was like maybe 8 or 9 years old, and it was not even. Forget about being a disappointment when you meet your favorite player of all time. It's like he lived up to all of that. I remember him visiting my aunt's church, and he was so generous with his time. That's what you want out of a star at the end of the day. And well, to me, he was a star. To everybody else, he was just a guy that played for the Jays.
I was gonna say, I don't think you
guys probably don't know him, so
that's what I'm saying. He might have been the best Blue Jay outfielder because you feel that you have a connection with the guy. But I think numbers-wise, there had to have been many better players.
Okay, well,
but we haven't had that many great outfielders. I can't even think about
Jose Batista. He was a better actual player than Joe Carter. Don't at me. Jesse Barfield was.
No, but I don't think anybody denies that. Joe Carter batted like 250 or 260 or something.
Joe Carter had the moment, but he's overrated.
Yeah, he's overrated. I think he's overrated too as an overall player, but as someone that means a lot to Toronto, obviously not overrated at all. I mean, Tom Henke, Dwayne Ward. All right, back into trading right now.
I got to get out of Silvergate. This is actually squeezing.
Why is Silvergate not even moving? It doesn't look like
it's bouncing off. If this breaks out here, it might actually be a long. Like if it breaks out of this 504 market going down, this going up, 70% short interest. I'm getting out here. I'm getting out VWAP. This is just way too strong right now. So I'm going to be on any bid that it wants to give me a little bit more aggressively because someone made a point. There are a lot of activist investors out there that are betting on a big recovery for this name. And then you throw up I keep saying it, but I don't show you guys this.
Oh,
I mean,
how could we forget?
I haven't been here. I haven't been here in a while. Where's Silvergate? Why do I put in silver and it doesn't come up? Okay, I have to actually type the entire thing. Float checker, that's the only beef. I have to type the entire name. 70% short on a 25 million float. So suffice to say, if it gets going to the upside, it can really move. So I'm going to respect the fact that it's strong. I'm going to get out. It's the only short that isn't actually banging right now. So all the reason in the world to get out of it.
Yeah, so we're idiots. We're not idiots for Ricky Henderson because he was like more of a rental player, but I think that obviously the best person, the most talented probably to step in an outfield on a Blue Jays uniform probably would have been Ricky Henderson, but also George Bell actually won MVP.
Whoa. No.
And hit 47
No,
bombs.
no, what? Jesse Barfield was a better player than George Bell. George Bell couldn't play any defense. George Bell couldn't take a walk. George Bell couldn't run the bases.
I mean, I just have to look at the numbers.
He was a good power hitter. Dave Winfield was a Hall of Famer when he played 1 year for us.
That's what I'm saying. It's Ricky Henderson.
So I'm one of those dudes. I'm a bit of a baseball guy. One of my buddies will he'll just send me a snapshot of a Baseball Reference stat page and be like, tell me who this player was. And I'm like, you gotta challenge me. Because I spent way too much time reading about baseball when I was a kid. My pops used to make us go to the library every single week, and you had to check out like 5 books and read them. So my life hack was to read every single baseball book that existed in the Brampton library system. And when I had done that, then I actually started reading science fiction because there was nothing left. So I've read like all kinds of like just random crap that you guys probably don't care about. I would read a statistical book just because I don't give a damn. I love ball. And that's probably why I like trading, because it's all numbers right here. And you eat what you kill. But I want to go back to the market for one thing. False alarm on PanW, moving CrowdStrike. It might break this channel down. I'm holding for the break. I'm holding for 127 breaking, and I want this to get to 25. Once it's through this level, I'll look to re-engage the short on the breakdown. So that's what I'm looking for. What am I checking the 8-ball for, Mashworth?
Yeah, we got to check it for something.
We can check the 8-ball. What are we checking it for? We need a question. My dad is a great dad. I think, and thank you for saying that. No, but like someone in the chat just goes, your dad's a great dad for doing that. But at the end of the day, I think that's like, you have to challenge your kids. Like, you know, Sean's challenging G to play rep with all boys. Is that easy? No. But at the end of the day, that's how kids will grow. You don't have to throw them into a pond so they can learn to swim. We joked about that the other day. There's other ways to do it, but you have to challenge kids. That's how they get out of your comfort zone, try new things, and always try to get better. So that's what it's about. But about the 8-ball, just let us know an actual question about the market. Market up or down, we've done. The market's down. Do we want to
I changed this in the morning while the market was up.
I think, but we already
it's still
asked
flat. That. I mean,
is that
the
what
8-ball needs to be? I feel like it needs to be something more appropriate. You know what?
What do you want to do?
All right. Because you know what? We can position ourselves for this next question. Okay.
Like literally, like.
Will the jobs number
this is
on
big.
Friday be greater than expected? I don't know what we'll find the expected number. Just greater than
like,
expected.
205 or something like that. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
That's fine. Greater than expected. That makes sense. We'll get the expected number. So if it's greater than, then we can position ourselves a little bit out on that one. Oh my God.
It
says only Sean knows.
Only Sean knows.
I love the 8-ball, but it's not accomplishing.
Not fair.
One more time.
Because if only Sean knew that, then I'm telling you right now.
I do know it. I just don't want to release it.
If he knows economic numbers, then we have to have a discussion because then we could be doing.
Well, it says Fahad says yes. So we are expecting a greater than expected jobs number, which should.
If that runs hot again.
Yeah, watch out. So maybe we just hold on to these shorts here. We are waiting for it's 3:16 right now. Thank you to enter Power Hour. And I mean, this Power Hour, we've been talking a lot about sports and stuff like that, but it still remains the same. I mean, I've been getting some out. Yeah, we're holding the shorts of this meta. I like this play back down in. We have been getting out of some of our GM. We're waiting for one more move to the downside. This one's been pretty quiet. We shorted it initially because of that news on the Hummer, and then, the Hummer was part of it, that they haven't produced as like 4 or 5 a day or something like that, or a week. I don't know. I can't remember. I'll have to go find that story there. But disappointing EV news from GM today, sending this name down. Let's look at what it is compared to Ford. So GM was down 0.6. Ford is up 0.5. So yeah, there you go. So relative strength versus weakness on that news. Rivian touched a 52-week low today of 1461, but right back up to the upside on right there. I mean, it touched the low. Well, first of all, it's a closing or opening low. It did make a brand new low today of 1420, but as I saw here on eSignal, 1461 was its brand new 52-week open or close low on that one. And your name is relatively strong. That if you do think we might get a rebound here,
AMD,
because the market's been pretty flat all day, and I still think we could probably hold these levels. Remember I said, like, I'm not expecting much, but we were short right there. So that was a great call for us, and we've been paid off on that call with with Meta. But what about Google right here? It's bouncing off 94 again. So 94 is a level that we've seen earlier today. It already bounced off real strong in the morning, man. We were long until we're wrong on Google. But there's a beautiful bounce off 94 again. So if you think that there's a long potential here in the market, which there probably is, I think Google off 94 is pretty good. I'm going to take it for a small piece just to see if we can't, get a little bit extra here. We do have the Meta short. If that just hovers around, we're going to want something long. So let's bid here at 11 and get this long.
Yeah, so you know what? I'm kind of mad at myself for. I'm not mad at myself for. I said at the time I got cute with Google trying to flip and getting away from the trend, but it is what it is. At least I got out of the long. That 94 does look pretty juicy. I thought you were going to say AMD when we're talking about strength just there. But either way, there's relative strength out in the market. I'm going to acknowledge here that little bottom that I was looking for a capitulation on CrowdStrike. It's actually holding the bid for now. So it's decision time. It's getting back above 127.50, or I think we're going to see the low of the day. I don't want to. What's it, 319 right now? I don't want to jump into this. Probably needs to carry through 127 for me to add more shares. And I'm not deviating from the plan on NVIDIA. I think if it gets to VWAP, it's been respecting it the entire time. So I'm going to get out if it bounces at VWAP. It's not that creative, but I mean, 50s, evens, and then when it gets into VWAP, that's where I think it can go. Coin I'm going to hold on to. I want to short the next pop, and there might not be one. But if this gets you 61.50, Coinbase can go to 60 even. And if you're wondering what that is, there's the 200 period moving average right at $60 on Coinbase. And we talked about this with Danielle Shea. She talked about it, and she mentioned how it was getting bullish on coin. It keeps on holding 60. How many times does it have to be a buy at 60 on the 200 period before I actually go long for the first? I never go long the stock. Well, that's not true. I rarely go long the stock, and it's showing you a good 60 level, and I bet you by the time you get to it, at least by the time I get to it, it's no good anymore. Oh, you got something.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I guess this is from Prad. He had, I don't know if Prad did it, but it came from Prad, so thank you, Prad, for this. Yeah, I guess, after all, we are Muppets. So there it is right there. Thanks to, I'm just trying to find these guys' names.
Looks like I'm trying to
crack
or something.
Tag them on Twitter here, because you know
great.
what? All these Twitter guys actually have, official, now there's Kermit, there's a whole bunch of stuff there, but I guess just the Muppets. But I guess we're Muppets after all right there. Thanks, Brad, for that. That's pretty fun right there. So, all right, that was fun. Thanks for all that talk there earlier on today about all the Muppets. So we are long Google right now. Not a bad price, not a great price right here. We're long at 11, just where we said we were. And I'm not playing fancy with this one.
I get to be Waldorf.
What's that? Is it Luke Combs or someone? Somebody has a song. I don't even know who Luke Combs is. The name just sounds familiar to me. Fancy Like. Have you heard that song? It's like something about like Applebee's on a late night, date night. I don't know.
Oh, I've heard that. I've heard that song.
Apparently, Brendan loves country music. That's from Greg, so maybe he knows.
I remember
that's
that.
a Fancy Like. It's called. But okay, here we go. Nice move to the upside right now. Let's take something out at 18. Let's take something out at 25, and then we'll go, because we are obviously long still. Short on Meta right there. And I'm going to take another piece out on Meta, because if I really do think this market does have a chance to come the other way right now, then yeah, we don't necessarily want to be one way or the other. Oh, we got that Google fill, a little bit of fill there at 18, and I just did take another piece out on Meta as well. So Walker Hayes, that's right. Apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur. No, that's not it, but that is good, man. That's what it is. Walker Hayes. My kids absolutely love that song, so shout out to whoever Walker Hayes is.
Oh,
it's called Fancy Like. If
Walker
you listen
Hayes.
to it, it's pretty.
I thought
it's like
maybe
one
you
of those
meant
pop country songs.
I thought you meant
Aren't they all
apple
pop
bottom jeans.
country? Oh yeah, that was Nelly, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
We know that one. Too Hot and Her.
You know what's crazy? And this will, for anybody that's West Indian, will probably understand this. So I was born in Canada. My family's West Indian. But you know who's really oddly big, especially in Jamaica? It's Johnny Cash. And I found this out, my parents were like, yeah, there's a lot of big Johnny Cash fans among West Indians, which was not something I would have expected. He's great. It's just, I didn't see that one coming. So when it comes to country music, I don't know. My idea of good country is Lionel Richie. And anyways, but let's move on back to the market, because that's a whole other can of worms there. Maybe I got a little bit too timid with Silvergate. Because I said, okay, I'm getting out in front of VWAP. I'm not reshorting this at 5 because it feels like there's a buyer in here and it's too strong. Well, it rejects 5 and comes right back into VWAP. I'm going to get out of it anyways, just because it feels like it's too strong. And this is just how it is. This stock, and I'm going to say it over and over again, there's a squeeze coming on this stock. And what it's doing at this $5 level is telling you that maybe we're looking at it imminently, like maybe tomorrow morning. I don't think it's running out of time for this afternoon, but the last shorts of it in front of 5 even, like just wipe out bottom, go 10% down off the 5, and then just hold it. Buy program at VWAP at the previous 52-week low, and then at some point it breaks out, and a squeeze could go 20%, 50%. I have no idea, but 70% short interest. I don't know if I want to short this one again tomorrow. I might be done with this, at least temporarily.
So, yeah, I was just thinking about it. I know for anybody Canadian out here, so my music tastes are pretty diverse as well. This last summer, the wife and I saw Wu-Tang at the Molson Amphitheater. And then we also saw Blue Rodeo before then. And then you want to talk about country, Willie Nelson. We saw live.
Well, I mean, that's
Willie Nelson.
I mean,
so that was pretty classic. That was great to see that.
Right?
Man, there was you know, when you go to these concerts, it gets a little carried away, especially the Wu-Tang concert, who was also, Wu-Tang was touring with one of my favorites of all time, Nas, was there as well. But that was a lot of fun there in Toronto, Canada.
Sit back, relax.
Okay, so
Nas is, I mean, everyone has their own top 10. I get that, or top 5s, but I think he's a lot better than I feel people give him credit for. So Nas is an absolute, and Talib Kweli too. I feel like doesn't get enough credit. But anyways, I could talk about that all day long. Everyone has their own top 5.
Nasty Nas, yeah, Queensbridge. Okay, so what's my target for Google? Honestly, guys, I mean, you know, it went up to, went right there. That's why we took it out. We didn't take anything out. We took out 10%. It's nothing. Basically paying for fees and stuff like that. That's nothing. So, you know, like I'd be happy with 25. The thing is this. I don't really want to give a target right now. My out is down here, 94. We break 94, we're gone. We're going to average into it. We'll give it a little bit of room under 94, but not much. Maybe a dime, something like that. But other than that, I just feel like if you can get a 1-to-1 trade counter trend right now, I think that's pretty good. So we're looking for about 15 cents on this trade if that's what we're going to lose on this. So 15 cents puts us right at the 50 period, which is right where we want to be. So right into here, I feel like is a good target for us on Google. But I'm still going to have hopefully a lot on board when we get to this level. Well, I'm not have any more outs. So we'll get out probably 25% or something, in and around 25, because that makes sense. And then we'll see if we do get that rip into the end of the day. But I am not expecting any kind of a huge move into the end of the day. I mean, in fact, we're still holding this short here for Meta, but this is kind of why we went long on Google, was because Meta did retrace back upside, and even right now, Meta's flirting with that 50 period. So like, if Meta's weak today and flirting with the 50, then I really feel like Google should also be joining its friend in FANG and move all the way back up to the upside as well, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. You know what's strange? Microsoft was never in Mr. Kramer's FANG. Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google.
My reasoning for why that is if you look at all of the big tech names, I'm talking like going back to when we would have started trading.
It's Apple, there's 2 A's.
Yeah, so if we're talking about like, you know, like early 2000s, right? Like all of the big tech names, only one of those companies from 20, 25 years ago when we would have started out is still a big cap name. So when FANG came around, it was the new brand. It was post the Four Horsemen and those types of names. And so Microsoft was kind of with that old guard. And so when FANG came out, I'm making this assumption that that's the reason they got left out.
I don't know why it wouldn't be in there, but
because it was more the newer tech. But Microsoft was like Microsoft had a foot in the old brand.
Yes. Oh no, Microsoft's been around. It's like it's an Intel, it's a Cisco, it's an Oracle, it's all those guys, right? So
I was in it. What's crazy is I didn't have So my entire family were Apple users. And I mean, like, we had a Macintosh PC. Like, the first computer we had in my household was a Macintosh PC in the late 80s. And, I didn't even use anything. I didn't use anything but that till I went to university, and when you couldn't use a Mac in university when I went to university. And the irony of it is I do not touch Apple products now because everyone in my family is obsessed with it. So I like to say invest in Apple, but don't use it if you don't like the ecosystem. I'm weird like that. But this is now starting to stall out. and trying to make some of these lows here. I don't know if this is going to be worth the reload. I can tell you SI is bouncing a little bit, but if CrowdStrike doesn't make that hole through 127, this could be coming back up. If you look at what's going on with PanW, that came all the way back down. Reverse that move after that spike. So I would have expected when PanW broke that low, why am I not seeing follow through on CrowdStrike? And I'm not seeing it all. So I might have to put a trailing stop on this. I can always reload this like close to the end of the day, but it's 3:30 already here, Sean. We're going to get those early look on the imbalances.
It's 3:30 already?
Yeah, we're going to get the early look on the imbalances. And I'm not at any reload spots. Like to me, this is not a decision point. I'm floating in midair. The money fills, or if we get a big pop to the upside. I don't want to be adding to something like a Coinbase. I don't like where I'd be adding to NVIDIA. If anything, NVIDIA is almost too strong right now. Yeah, NVIDIA is too strong. It's not going to VWAP. This is holding pretty nicely. This is a good level, and these levels have been good on NVIDIA, but you can see what's happening here when you get these shorts. This is a much stronger move than what we had last time. So I'm going to cover NVIDIA in front of 239 and hold the other names. So if we get another pop down into 239, I'm just going to take it on NVIDIA and then kind of move on. Coinbase is okay. And someone asked, why am I shorting NVIDIA, not short Intel? I'll very clearly show you why. Because I shorted the bottom break on Intel and got stopped out. And look, I wanted that flat bottom break to the pre-market high, and I thought it would go to 25 even, if not even lower than that. Didn't happen. And then I waited for 26. And as a matter of fact, I just realized I was still waiting for the short at 26 that I had in the pre-market. I hadn't canceled it. So I'll cancel it now. It didn't quite get there. So I slapped the L on myself, fail on Intel today, but I missed that rollover in front of 26 even. That's still a valid level for shorts. I just didn't get the fill today. That was the only reason I didn't short the stock today.
All right, so you might have saw me looking puzzlily at Meta. Because I don't understand why it's going up so much right now. It's a very, very aggressive move back up to the upside right there. So we got a piece out at 69, and now we only have 10% left. So it just wicked 184. Our out's a little bit higher than that, but we only have 10% left. I've adjusted the stop order and everything, and yep. It's good to go, and we're ready to go. So as long as this doesn't break any higher than that, we're going to stay into this one. But Meta just right now on one, right back up to the upside. And I don't really know why, because it's 3:30. I'm going to stay away from it right now. And just normally I'd be all over this short because it just came right back up to a level that I like. I mean, we've been shorting it right into here, so that's a level that I like. Now, what's the most puzzling, of course, as we're going to get ready to go to small cap recap, is Google. Like, the market is retracing right back up. I would have thought Google had a chance to go. Maybe we're not as strong as we thought here on this name, but whatever. We're going to hold out for that 25 level there. Hopefully it can come through as we go over to Brendan with the small cap recap.
Hey guys, brought to you by our friends over at True Trading Group. Trading education, premium tools, mentorship, and community to help you learn, trade, and profit. Click the link in the chat and check them out, guys. QR code on screen. Shout out to our friends over at TTG. Let's go. Maxion, this MAXN, making moves as we speak. So let's start off with this one. A solar stock, Maxion Solar, trying to get back to day highs as we speak right now, which was that 2630, 2635 area on decent volume here in the afternoon. What a move for this thing, and it's all off of, there it is, earnings. Better than expected forecast coming from them after the close yesterday. This is not even, I feel like it's around 500 million, I'll double check, but this is not even $1 billion market cap type company. So MAXN on the run once again. Another one we were looking at this morning off of earnings. Q4 revenue it was better than expected for RIGL. Gapped up and gave it all back. But again, we're starting to bounce, trying to bounce anyways, back to the upside. OPK, another one on watch this morning. This did the same. Gapped up, well, I mean, a tiny move to 130 and then gave it all back right through to 115. We talked briefly about HKD in the pre-market. Look at what this thing is doing right now. There is the forever buyer sitting on 830 right now for HKD. It's been there all throughout the midday. So a very interesting looking chart for that one. Another one that gave it all back today, this FRTX, Fresh Tracks, was up on that note on early stage positive data from their lead candidate. Barely a green candle here, right back to where this thing was yesterday for FRTX. Make sure you take a second, guys, hit the like and subscribe if you haven't done so. Again, shout out to True Trading Group, for bringing you small cap.
Good point there, Breno. We're sub 1,000 likes. I mean, here's the thing. The Magic 8 Ball just told you that the biggest thing in the economy right now is the jobs report. And the Magic 8 Ball just said that only Sean knows the answer. So I know we asked another question, but it doesn't matter. Only Sean knows. And apparently, Sean he didn't say this, but I think if we get a couple thousand likes, maybe you'll let us know how the jobs number is going to go on Friday, because I would like to know. I think it's going to move the markets. But you just...
Yeah.
Here's the other thing. Sean just turned around and he's like, I don't know what's happening in Meta. It's bouncing to the upside. And then you saw the aggressive move up, and then a minute later, the market starts bottoming. I'm in coin short, trailed out, broke to the upside. Sometimes you don't know what's going to move the market, but that move in Meta, all of a sudden, you know what? I don't even know if I want that reload this tight to the imbalances on NVIDIA. Back up to that 240. I'm going to back off. Market getting strong here. This could be trying to break out. So I'm not going to reload NVIDIA. If it does carry through the high, I'll just get out. I'm going to try to hold on to CrowdStrike because I feel like this is, if I stick with one, look, the short I came in today thinking I liked the best was CrowdStrike, and this isn't the one, the short I have now isn't the one I thought. It was really, 135, but I still like this. I'll still try to grab fills on this if I can, hopefully with enough time before those imbalances at 128.50. But we're giving you guys the ideas. At the end of the day, it's about entertainment and education and just sort of what we see in the markets. But all we ask, hit the like, hit the subscribe, share with your friends, grow the community. It's a great one. I mean, all day long, I'm talking all damn day long, we're being told in the chat about Palantir, and it was Don in the chat. And Don, you're 100% right. I remember you saying 788 on Palantir, and he said he was going short up here, and he was going 788. And I'm like, yeah, but I like the long off 820. I like the long off 820. And I took the long and I lost. It was okay for a bit, and then I lost. Well, maybe it's going to 788. Congratulations! We can all learn from each other. That's what it's all about here. That's what we preach. That's what we believe in because we practice what we preach. And I hope at this point, I hope it gets to 788 for you. It's now broken that 200 period. Heck, I think it has a chance with the imbalances coming in. Who knows? So Palantir, great trade, Don. Kudos to you. And it's not about, you don't have to follow us. We both like longs today in Palantir. And you found yourself a short and it was a good one. So congratulations. I hope it works out. We have 15 minutes to the imbalances. The early look I did not see, though.
Yeah, I was just going to ask Brendo if he can get that to us because I think he got distracted with the Sesame Street thing there. So I don't see it in our chat temporarily, but Brendo will get that to us right away. So I don't know I don't know, But there's a couple reasons why we said, look at Google right now. Yeah, buddy, let's go. This is that one that we just bought. We just bought this Google trade right now down there. Now here it is, man. You guys asked for where the target was. Target hit right now. There's another 20-cent winner for you on Google, right back up to the upside. And I was waiting for 30s there, believe it or not. Hopefully we get a fill at 30 and grab that, and then we'll see where we go from here. But there it is. It runs right through us. So that's a good trade right there. Spin that. Is this a trading show? You tell me. Meta monster winner, guys, to the downside. And then I was like, what is even going on in Meta, which is why we got out right there, which is why we didn't reload right there. And now look what's going on with Meta. Attention Brendo over there. I don't know. I don't see anything here. I'm sure Brandon's looking, but hey, could be TikTok bill, so on and so forth. But there goes Meta right back up to the upside. Let's just check out Snap to see what's going on with that one, to see if there's any sort of fade or play possible. See? So nothing to do with that, but there it is right now. Snapchat and Meta kind of going in absolute opposite directions right now. But hey, man, you know what? We're at the highest spot we've been at all day. We're really happy with our performances today. Again, we have one red name on our board, two red names, Palantir and the Qs. Other than that, it's been a pretty monstrous day as the NASDAQ right back up to the high spot. And by the way, we still have half of Google on board. Let's take another piece out right now at 37 if we can. We just tried to... we got a little greedy there. We offered 40s right where it was and missed it. So let's go. We're at 37. Maybe it comes back up and fills us. If not, let's punch a piece out right there. We'll punch some. Wow, darn it. I think we got a dark pool again there. But we'll punch. There we go. We got 37 anyways. Nice move to the upside for Google. Hey, it's only a 30-cent winner, but we're pretty happy with it right there. Buying off that bottom. Wait for key levels, load up, and let's go. We weren't overly confident with it, but we have at least a piece here as Google Alphabet, I guess,
Alphabet.
making the move back up.
And I just got away from reloading on NVIDIA, thank goodness, because it just blew out the top, so I would have just lost more. I held on to that last piece that I wanted for VWAP. It is a strong trend up, and that's actually a good point. What I was going to say if I did this for trade of the day is even if you make money shorting a stock and the trend was to the upside, you should still evaluate why you weren't on the long, right? So at the end of the day, like I will openly acknowledge the long was a play. Every single time I'm covering a short, it's a good long. Well, not every time, like most of them. Like this isn't a good long, but that's a great long, that's a great long, that's a great long. Every single terminal out, I could have been riding the trend here. It is what it is, and sometimes the market will reward you for that. I do still like working CrowdStrike off this 129, so I'm going to give it one last shot here. I know the quarter was good. My old thesis on why it would fall today is that it was not as good as PanW. So we'll see what happens with this tomorrow. It is still in the midst of a little bit of a breakout. If you wonder what 135 is, it was just kind of like the last little ditch of resistance when it had a bit of a capitulation and then a top in the aftermarket. So if it goes back to 135, I short 135 tomorrow till it breaks. If it breaks that, I think I hold off until you get to the 200 period moving average, which I don't think is going to happen. And if you want the reason why, it's very simple. Like Palo Alto, forget about the split. If Palo Alto is not breaking out on what was a better quarter, then why would CrowdStrike break out when it's more expensive? So if we get a breakout in PanW, everything I say about CrowdStrike is kind of invalid, and I will get away from looking for the shorts tomorrow. But this is the last one I have till the imbalances. We're going to go for it. Didn't really find any longs that I like, and hopefully that Palantir stays strong for you guys. I did see BLPH and some of these small caps going. Kala was the other one. I just didn't see a trade with Kala. I pulled it up. It's like, okay, I know it's moving. That's like 30, 40, maybe 50, 60 cents, but it's hugging VWAP. Risk to reward, I'm not sure what the trade is unless you're already in the long. And if you're already in the long, alert to, it's bouncing nicely off the 50 period moving average, but alert to the rejection that it already had today. That's a pretty big rejection. Oh, I'm still offering coin. Ooh, yeah, I don't want this coin. It's going to get out. I still had an order on Coinbase. I don't want it. Just got out. And that's what... I left that in because I wanted the shorts here, but that's a much different fill than when I wanted it there, guys. So, that was the only order I had out there. That was close. I didn't want that Coinbase short.
Ooh, man, we're getting those feels again, man. There goes Google. Nice move again to the upside. We just got a 40 fill. Like, what's up, Adam? What's up, Adam DeLuz right there? Is that really your last name or DeLuz? Like, I was just wondering about the losing part, but maybe that is, maybe we're not pronouncing that right, but I don't know. He's asking me, how's Google doing? It's doing
awesome.
We did get an email about getting new animations, and we do know that we're trying to work on getting some new animations. Those should be coming through soon, but so far so good, and we'll see if we can do a little bit of this, talk about new animations heading into the close right now, upside. So let's go to see what is going on. Where the hell is Brendan? Brendan's at his desk, so what's up to Brendan?
Where he always is.
He's at the same spot. Sometimes he gets out, gets a coffee, does all that kind of stuff. But generally speaking, that man never leaves over there. So we're in good hands with the news.
You know where he is.
But I don't know what that was in relation to. If it's in relation to this market move, I don't think this is. There he is. What's up, Brendan? I don't think this market move has anything to do with like a news piece dropping. It might be, who knows? Right now, J.P. Morgan cutting ties with crypto exchange Gemini. I don't even know what their relationship with them was.
Well, you know what I think
we can check out on Coinbase, but I just want to talk about the NASDAQ right here. Just quickly, it's just at its range right here. So if you wanted to go short on the market, this could be a good spot. I just think the market broke upside a little bit there. It's testing 12,200, so we can see if it holds it, but 0.31 kind of. What were we down yesterday? 1% or so
Not
on the
much.
NASDAQ. So making a little bit of that money back here today.
So, I just over-undered on crowd. I'm going to... You know what? I was about to say that was too tight of a stop on CrowdStrike, but it's not because it's 342. I remembered why I had a tight stop and why I wouldn't want to float it back into 129.5 because we're out of time. And that's the thing. If you're going to go for a counter trend trade, it has to have time to slow down, consolidate, and then work. But you already pointed out the range. The market is just bouncing off the bottom and going back to the top. So we end up with an inside day on the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ, unless it miraculously breaks the highs, it just held the low and went right back to the top. The ES kind of tried to go. So if something was weaker, it broke the low for a bit. But you've mostly had a very tight inside range. And here's the thing. respect the support resistance levels. The big levels, you can trade off them. They're key, like long Google 94, what was the top there all day long, 240 on NVIDIA, or anything like that. Because we might have these kind of inside days till, Friday when we get a big number, that's the kind of catalyst that can make us break outside. But today was all inside. And when you have a day like that, you want to be very, very particular about the names that you trade. You want to trade something with a catalyst that has a chance to go, or at a key price level, or it can just be nothing. That's why I didn't touch Intel today, because, well, after losing on that bottom break, because when it didn't want to make a break outside of the range, which is what I was looking for, I wanted this stock making new ground underneath 25.50. When that wasn't happening, I just kind of got away from it because the bigger move wasn't going to be there, and lo and behold, Intel didn't have itself a bigger move. Last couple of days, great for the short. I thought we'd just continue to the downside, go another 70 cents. Didn't happen, walk away, rinse and repeat. If it comes back up here, I'll probably short that tomorrow, but that's another story. If we get inside days, play key levels, key stocks. Brendo.
There's really nothing popping up as far as potential for a catalyst to the upside for the overall market. It is widespread, though, so big buy programs getting turned on here, it would appear anyways, at the end of the day. Even this one, we talked about it this morning, Stitch Fix, was down on earnings after market yesterday. This one has a short percent, remember. It's about 15, I think, 12 to 15 on the short float for Stitch Fix, trying to go green.
Like I said, that Stitch Fix. Yeah, SFIX. All right, so I don't know. What's up to Adam? I just messaged you on the chat. I did get you on Twitter there, so shout out to that. There's so many fake accounts out there and stuff like that, guys. I don't know. We get a lot of DMs and stuff, so thanks for mentioning that. I just added you there. But there goes, here goes Meta right. Meta, forget about Meta. We're already out of that one. We're on Google right now. It is flying right now to the upside. Let's take advantage of this and see if we can get a piece out on this move up. We're right into this level again. Whoops, 53 right there. So that's just what we topped out at, 53. We'll put an offer there to see if we can get it. But this is still a 50-cent winner, man. Well, it's not. It's 38 right now. But it's buying off 94. Unfortunately, we have 11s. We actually tried to get more down there and just got missed. But nice move to the upside. And again, this is what it's all about for me. This risk, we already talked about this risk. This is right now a 4-to-1 trade for us. So, we talked about it giving us about 15 cents worth of risk. Well, we're now 3-to-1, in the money on this one right now. But we've gotten out on the way up. So, it's not a maximum trade, but we're very happy with it. You guys asked me earlier what my price target was. I said right into there. We only got out of 20 extra percent, but on the way up, we're starting to get out more. We got some out at 40s, and honestly, when our risk is down there for 10 or 15 cents, and we can try to grab 30 to 40 on that into the end of the day, I like it. But yeah, as Brendan just stated there, we found Brendan, just like Jack Ma. We found Brendan, and then the second part was the market has found itself a bid, as Brendan just mentioned. Straight upside right there on what seems to be not much, man. We already know where the Fed's going now. I guess the market's, this is really going now. And I guess the market's pretty happy with the direction. It's still 76% or so on the Fed rates.
Last we checked.
Yeah, for 50 basis points. So it's going higher. The market seems to say, hold my beer, and we're still starting to go back up to the upside. Thanks to True Trading Group sponsoring our last half hour.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just saw in the chat, I'll shout you out there. Now I missed it. So, damn it, I just had the name ready to go, but it was a call out for NVIDIA and how far it's going. Sometimes
RAM? NVIDIA heading to 240.
Yeah, it was RAM. Thank you. It was RAM. NVIDIA, that is the level now on NVIDIA. And we're not, it's not that it's too late in the day, because quite frankly, I might take a stab at this on the other side of the imbalances. What I mean is when 350 hits, if there's any kind of a sell imbalance, then I might look for the NVIDIA short of 240, 250, but I need something in the overall market to confirm it. That's why, I need the NASDAQ is screaming toward the high at the exact same time. So if the imbalances were to flip to a sell, and we're at that 240, 250 level, I would definitely get out of it or look for that short. Now, thankfully, we got out of the short and didn't reload it, but that was one heck of a reversal play. I don't generally like the breakout into overhead resistance this late in the day, but that was a good one. And I think we do get a test eventually of this level on NVIDIA, whether it's today or tomorrow. It seems like it's destined after today with a bull flag or whatever you want to call this. I really don't care. Call it a wedge, bull flag. It's a bullish setup, and it broke the top, and it's probably headed to a test of this breakout. And if it goes, it flies. NVIDIA has been on an absolute churn. You can say you believe in it or not. It doesn't really matter. It's just going to do what it wants to do. If it breaks this level, again, all it's done is churn to the upside, and there's nothing in its way until it gets to about $280. I'm not saying it's going to $280 tomorrow. I shouldn't have said it that way, but you kind of catch my drift. This is a very brief consolidation at a key level, and if it takes this out and the jobs number comes the right way, then I think we could see another leg upside in NVIDIA and holler out that 250 when it gets there. I'm setting an alert for that one to make sure I don't miss it.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see if this job number comes hotter, colder, as it.
Yeah,
imagine it comes. I mean, I think a good level will be as expected. I feel like the market today definitely retracing some of those losses from yesterday, an as expected number.
Oh, this is tempting.
I don't know. Could be something. Well, what's Intel? All right. So
you guys, you saw me cancel my order from the morning on Intel to not go short this thing.
So we did good getting out there on Google as it just went right back up to the 200 period. So we talked about that 200 period on a 1 minute chart right there, came into play again. So it just bounced off of 60. Our best out is 53. And we're going to wait to see here as it's, Crow. Again, the time, Neil. It's definitely getting on right now. Okay, so it's a good thing, just checking our positions. We're pretty light on everything right now. We only have Google, so we'll continue to watch that. That's in no danger. I don't think of falling back to where we're in, so I'll cancel all my bids on this one. Just let Google run and see what it goes. And right now, it's only 1 minute left. We'll get rid of ARCA here in a minute. There it is. See ya. And then now we'll just wait to see what happens here. These are all from 9:30. At 3:50, they're all going to populate. Brendan gave us it just 4 minutes ago. Again, it's 137 million to buy. So it's a buy side imbalance. We'll see what this does for this name, Google, and for the market with only 20 seconds to go. Buy side imbalance. You would have thought when you looked at this that maybe the buy side was like way bigger than what we're looking at right now, but it's not. So we're going to wait to see populating in now only 8 seconds right here live in sunny Toronto, Ontario, Canada. It's 3:49, 55, 56, 57, just telling you that so you can sort of time it out with us. And there it is right now. Let's see what happens. Google making a little bit of a move down, but not much right there. What are the names on here that we need to look at? I only see, I don't think the NASDAQ is here yet. It's not. There it is. There's the NASDAQ. So here it is right now. It's going to be a big sell, I feel like. There's Google with the sell, so that's my position. Thanks for a sell on that one. It doesn't matter. It's not really going down. Intel there with the sell. Apple. Apple with the buy. So counteracting a little bit right there. Palantir with the buy. Whatever. That's the negative name that we have today.
A buy.
Yep. Amazon with a bid as well as we get ready to rock and roll. So yeah, man. So far so good here to end the day. Let's just see if we can't catch some of these trades back in right now. That's what it looks like. Brendan just gave it to us. I thought it would have been a sell, but it came as a $243 million buy. And I guess there must be enough buy names in there. Anyways, so relatively a nothing burger, except for, of course, Google starting to head back down. Let's just hold this for the close. We'll take whatever the closing price is on Google.
This is the smallest, for the record, I can't remember the last time the imbalances were this small at the close. Maybe it.
I can't disagree.
No, I can't think of a time that only 2 names over $1 million, and it's Alphabet and Intel. So look, I've probably FOMO'd with this. Like I said, I canceled my offer to go short in front of 26 on Intel. It came a sell imbalance, so I shorted 88. I think maybe it can go VWAP retracement, but I'll have my eye on that imbalance because if it completely flips, and so if you're tuning in for the first time. Net order imbalances are really just about the closing auction. So they tell you what, they add up all the buys and the sells that are going into the auction, market buys, limit buys, come up with an equilibrium price, and then say, okay, if we printed it right now, there's this many more buys than sells, and that's your imbalance. Doesn't mean the stock's going up or down. However, they publish large updates in that at 3:55. So if ever taking a trade, this is you would never really short Intel here, you'd want it up here. But the imbalance came at that time, and it was 88 that I was able to get. At 3:55, regardless of where this is, a decision gets made whether I want to get out. If it's trending against me, I'm probably getting out for sure. I might get out at 92, 93 regardless. But at 3:55, if it goes from a sell imbalance to a buy imbalance, I just punch out. If it stays a sell imbalance, you hold on to it. But it's a big event usually when there is a decent size imbalance. So if you're trading Alphabet, let's just say, I don't even know if Alphabet moved on that. Not really. But if you're trading Alphabet at 3:55, that sell imbalance might turn into a buy or pair off. more likely than not, it's going to pair off. And speaking of Intel, because I'm in it, this tends to pair off every time. Like Intel almost never stays with a large buy or sell imbalance, doesn't matter the direction. So if it doesn't work to VWAP in the next 2 minutes, then it's probably not going to work at all.
All right, guys, I hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Otherwise, Kat will.
Hola, like and subscribe today.
Hola. What's up, Katrina? Hola to you as well. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit all of that right now as we go. So, all right, yeah, I'm just reading some of the headlines. There's not much happening right now. There goes Google into that sell imbalance. We only have 10% left. We talked about that 1, 2. There's 9 outs right here. Looking for this thing to fall back in. Yeah, we gave him some out. As soon as we saw that sell imbalance, we probably should have got out of it. But at 353, generally speaking, these imbalances will flip around. As Neil just explained a little bit, you'll get an average price of all the buyers and sellers, and they'll come up with a closing print. But all these shares, so 1.7 plus 1.3, so you got 3 million shares, or 3 million shares done for Google. So the closing print will be about 3 million. So, you know, take our word for it. You're going to see that come out about 3 million shares on the closing print for Google, and they're going to come up with a price which will be in and around. 3 million shares is nothing, so it'll come in and around wherever it closes at. I just think at 355, when this sell pressure is gone and they say, okay, that's it, we've matched everybody up, this is what we're doing, it should relieve some of the pressure and start to go back up to the upside. Yeah, we call it kind of flipping. So we'll see if the flipping happens right now back up to the upside for Google. So that's what I'm sort of waiting on. We can do a quick little heat check on Meta.
Yeah, just very quickly, because 355 is coming and Intel's already going up, I'm just out. I'm not waiting for it to flip. I'm anticipating that it's going to flip, so I'm just getting out of the trade. It needed to work before 355.
Yeah, and so we're going to wait for Google. We can watch that together. I mean, Google's come all the way back down. We're still going to get out if it breaks too much lower than that. This might be a good spot to maybe even go long on Google, because in just a matter of seconds, I'm not going to. I want to watch, because I'll put this trade on more if I can see this actually working out. So here's 354, 55 coming out right now. Let's see what happens with Google. Okay, so it's a good thing we didn't go long, but it's still. Is it still there?
Yeah, why is Zila still so big?
All right, so that just Google. So Goog is still a sell. Google still a sell. You saw it right there, but it did pair off. There it is right here. It's paired off a lot. So it should go back up to the upside, but for right now, here comes Google fading back in. We're going to get out if it breaks 94. Looks like it wants to do that, man. Wow, what a funny day that is, man, because Google ripped up, and then that's a pretty big tank all the way back in. It's a good thing that we're out of this name. Did Meta do the same thing? No, Meta hung out upside.
Just quickly, so we were just showing those imbalances. Leave it on Sean's screen. Okay. You saw Zila on there. It was 8 million shares a minute ago. Still 6.4 million to buy. Zila's actually moving. I'm sitting there trading Intel. I got tunnel vision, because when the imbalances came out, it was just Google and Intel that were over a million. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Zila pops up for like 6 million or 9 million shares, and there it goes. So it might not seem like a lot, but it's done 100 million shares. And if you can get if you can get a 10% and 15% move, you'll take it. That is a huge move. And sometimes the imbalances make moves like this, but that was not there before. And then it popped up for 9 million shares. It's still 5.7 now. Big move at the end of the day.
Oh, shit.
Awesome.
We just did it there. We got Google in and out. I mean, we just made it. We just bought Google there at 94.03, and now we're just making. I'm actually now glad that it dropped down. Our net will finish today at its highest spot. I mean, whatever. I mean, we're gonna get some more pizzas out right here. 10s, 11s, 12s on the upside here for Google. There it goes. We got a 12 again. We're waiting at 14. Like, I'm just right now. We're just making more money. We got a 14 there. We're waiting at 17. Like, all that happened right here was. Reload. Oh, we don't have that. Was reloaded right there back for Google. So there's a move right back. I don't even feel that bad about it. Right there, Google, nicely done. Right back up to the upside. So now we only have a small piece left of our 94.03. So actually, the fact that came down against us turned out to be pretty good. So there's the flip right there. We saw that happen for Google. It's still a small sell. Right there, but this should flip over anyways. You're going to see a nice print at the end of the day. We're in this name, and we got it pretty good here. So let's just hold out and see where we go, and we'll try to get out at the end. But other than that, man, so far so good here. If it does take down 94, then we'll get out of it. But we just made we just made our day was made before. Meta is an absolute monster for me today. I can't explain that enough. The damage that we did on this name was absolutely huge off of these trades. These ones are okay. It was in the middle of the day, but it's when we really started feeling confident that this market was pulling back down. I mean, and the fact that it came back in was fantastic. Well done today on Meta, and I feel like tomorrow, up day here in the market. Nice move, huge move here. I can't think of anything other than say the strength is there in this market right now for no reason that move happens. If there was one, great. The dollar did pull off 106. So it did make a nice move back down as well. So that could have had something to do with it, dollar weakness, but I don't know. It's still a really nice move to the downside there.
I think we got the earnings board. We'll see what's on that board, but I think there's not a heck of a lot left this week. A couple of names of note here. So let's throw it up. DocuSign was
That's
one
tomorrow,
this week.
though.
I won't make the joke that I made this morning, so we'll leave it at that. Asana, I think, could make a move. I think you were mentioning.
I mean, I thought PaySafe has been going around. They split again. That was a horrible trade for me owning that. But then we talked about, of course, Brendan's favorite name.
Fuel Cell.
Dada?
I missed F-Cell.
I don't know why I'm answering you, but JD.com too, guys.
Oh, yeah, there it is, that little dog.
What, am I blind?
Dog logo, top left there. Okay, Asana.
How did I not see JD? No. JD's, that's the one I'm focused on, is JD.com.
Okay, so we'll look at JD.com tomorrow. Thanks, Brendo, for all that. And here we go, man. With only a minute left, we are going to ring that bell very soon and look at Google right now, as it is now 17 cents in the money, 20 cents going higher as Google continues to make its move up, man. What a great trade that was at the end of the day. Barbecued up some profits. I want to thank everybody for joining us one more time here today. You guys are the best. And happy International Women's Day. We have many great women members, and thank you for all the contributions in our chat as well. I mean, now this market's coming into a close here, and we're getting ready to rock and roll. The best Blue Jays outfielder of all time is going to ring the bell for us, of course, Fahad. And it's not, he did get served. The Jays did give him a contract, but turned it down. I want to say thank you very much to Fahad for that one. Look at this move on Google all the way back up.
He'd be the bat boy. Fahad in 4, 3, 2, and...
Thank you, Fahad. Man, we got to add your pen. Yep. Oh, golf. Oh, pitching. That was pretty good form.
Was it, though? It was okay.
Can you strike Neil out? Yes. Hey, that was very easy.
I'll tell you this right now, because I have an issue with my back.
After you guys race.
No, but I can't swing. I have an issue with
his
swinging.
back. He can't pitch.
I threw an 89 miles per hour.
He says he can throw 80, but I'll tell you right now.
No, 89.
89? He throws 89. He says he throws 89. I promise you this. You can make the bet whatever you want to bet.
He hasn't thrown
I will light you up if you try to pitch to me, Fahad. I will light you up, bro. I will light you up. I'm just saying it right now.
This is the best.
You got to be crazy, dude. I don't care about what the 8-ball thinks. I'm talking reality.
I do.
I'm talking straight reality. Fahad thinks he can strike me out.
Would Fahad strike out Neil?
Yo.
Pretty simple.
Igor in the chat has it right. 89,
it says I'm not telling.
89 kilometers an hour. 89 miles an hour.
Even 89 kilometers, I mean, that's like 50, 55.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. If you throw 89 miles an hour and you don't have a breaking ball and it's straight, it still gets hit.
What do you mean these battles with Sean and Fahad? This has nothing to do with me. I'm not battling Fahad. I call Fahad.
You could hit him too. We could all get hits off Fahad.
Oh, I have no doubt that Fahad ain't striking me out either.
He's not striking anybody out.
I just find it funny that you guys are going to be racing one day. But now both you guys are old men with your backs, so I feel like that's an excuse. But
I don't need a back to run.
I know you're not using.
I don't need a back to run. I don't care.
I know you're not using that as an excuse.
If I hit off him, I probably will have trouble walking the next day because I have issues. It is what it is. I have a condition on the spine. But anyways,
Palestinian powerhouse.
I'm going to knock him out.
Woo!
I'm going. The Palestinian I like that. But it doesn't matter.
All right.
Anyways, do we go to
Brendan, what up?
There needs to be like a day of Fahad challenges, I think. Here we go, guys. What a move back into the close there for everything. The Dow was the only one that didn't get back to positive territory. Ends the session negative 0.14, 0.5%. Meanwhile, for the NASDAQ, nice look, 0.13 for the S&P. So it was more rate hikes, but oh well.
By the way, Zila closed 10% to the upside and is now a whopping 7 cents. So that happened. Every now and then, something comes on the and bounces out of nowhere. I did not see that coming. Kind of crazy, but that's why we look at the imbalances, because you never know what's going to be there.
So you remember my favorite part of Uber was always Uber Freight. I kept talking about that over and over and over and over again with Uber. Well, there's news right now that Uber, possibly just news coming out right now that Uber is looking to consider spinning off its freight logistics unit. So I've always thought that Uber Freight was a good one. I still feel like there's a lot of opportunity in that, but there it is right there. Uber talking about Uber Freight going straight up to the upside right there. We'll see. This is the daily chart, so it's still in the pocket right there. Close this just to see. There's a nice move up. Uber Freight, we'll watch out for 37 maybe tomorrow if that means anything. You're spinning off different divisions generally is a good thing, but we'll wait to see Uber tomorrow looking to spin off Uber Freight right there. But all right. What a good show, man. This bear wrong. Read the work chat.
What work chat?
What, skinny gray-haired Neil? What is going on here?
I'm knocking you out the park. And I'm knocking you out the park. I did say it.
Like, why are you getting me to do that?
I did say it, and it is true. The challenge was he said he could strike me out, so I'm knocking him out the park.
That is what he said.
You just name the time and the place. I don't care. You can pick the bat for me as long as it's an actual baseball and an actual bat. I don't care. 10 pitches.
Is that what Fahad said?
He can have 100 pitches. He ain't striking me out. I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter, dude. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're not striking anybody out.
All right. Let's go, guys. It's going to be hilarious. When and if this ever happens, it's going to be just. I mean, the only thing we ever saw was bowling contest where Fahad was not at his peak, where we got dummied by Lucas.
But Sean, you know it's not happening.
And so I just don't.
We played in high school together. You know it's not happening. I'm just saying.
I'm not.
He knows.
I think we could all. I mean, Brendan played baseball.
Brendan played. You're not striking Brendan out either.
Is he striking you out, Brendan?
I'm old, man. I'm so old now.
We know you're old, but I don't think he's striking you out. I mean, I don't. We're all the exact same age.
I mean, more.
Besides Fahad. I mean, Fahad's the young guy.
We might eat a few pitches in that, but
I'm not sure Fahad can throw a strike.
that's the problem.
I'm just. I mean, are we going?
Problem.
I mean, are we
Can you
going
get it over the plate?
Oh yeah. Are we going 60 feet 6 inches? What are we doing here?
Of course we are.
Proper baseball.
I know.
He just said. Yeah, he just said
Yeah, I
we
can
can
go
do
to
a
Hyde Park.
proper
I have the Hyde
baseball,
Park.
real Major League Diamond.
We're doing this.
Well, not today. There's snow outside.
Anytime I want.
All right.
Stop,
let's wrap this thing up. It's 4:05 right now. You know,
Let you guys out of here.
before when it was this late, Fahad was in our ear. Man, I got to go home. I got to get out of here. Guys. Wrap this thing up. But now he's like, keep trash talking. So, okay, fun day today, man. Good job, Brennan. Obviously, every day, but especially today when we had Powell there. Nothing tomorrow, right? Is there any more Fed this week? Or just
No.
Okay,
It's,
perfect. So,
that's it. That's all until Friday.
all right, so we'll wait for Friday. It should be a good one for sure. So for everybody here, what a great day for the gentlemen beside us to our left, for Luca and for Sharif. They're going to have a lot of fun on Friday. That should be great, man. They're going to be wearing their Muppets costumes. Want to thank everybody for that. And then it's a pizza day. It's a beer day. Let's keep those super chats going for our guys in the midday show. So I want to thank everybody. I want to thank Fahad, Mark, Prad working it there. The guys are right there. Put that back. Fahad's getting his work. There, look at this. Look at that. Leg kick. Okay.
Where's the follow?
Come on, man. Look at it. All right. Sidearm as well.
He's also watching himself in the monitor.
I know he's watching. I saw that. I was wondering. I thought he was going to be flexing there in a minute. So
This is going to be light work.
All righty then.
work.
Let's go, man. We're getting really ready to go. It's now 4:06. I want to say thank you to everybody. Join us tomorrow at this time, 8:30. We'll be back every single day. As long as the markets are open, we're here. So for Neil, Brendan, I'm Sean, and we're Trader TV Live. Thanks for watching.